Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, gotta fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Yo, what up? This is another episode of Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. Righteous Reg is also in the building. What's going on with you?
It's your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, and your favorite podcaster, Media Man R, Righteous Reg. I'm here in the building. I'm very excited about it. It's Saturday morning. Grapsody's back. And I was thinking about it before the pod. Felt like, what's on the docket this week? And I was like, there's not any huge wrestling shows that happen this week that we need to dissect. It's a lot of like news and tidbits just kind of floating around the atmosphere, you know?
Yeah, a lot of stuff to get into.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of big shows are coming up at the beginning of April. Wild to think March is already ending in a few days.
Nice knowing you, March 2025.
Yeah, we're speeding through this month. But yeah, a lot of wrestling tidbits to get into. We will get into those in a few. Mm-hmm. Did you listen to either of these Will albums last night? Will Smith dropped the album and Willie the Kid dropped the album. I didn't get a chance to listen to either of them.
To listen to either of these Will albums. I listened to the intro of the Will Smith album and I was like, what else is on? Just not for me. I love Will Smith, one of the greatest of all time. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this man. But like, these are inspirational raps, and I'm just not trying to listen to inspirational raps.
You're not trying to hear inspirational raps. You're not trying to get good vibes.
No, not really. I don't want to be motivated. I want to be motivated, but like in a different
I don't want to be motivated.
I don't really want to be motivated over here, but I want to be motivated in like a different way. And he's like, get your life together and things will be good. And it's like, I'm not really, not really the vibe, I think. But respect.
Yeah, man. Look, dope that he's still putting out music. I do want to. Funny enough, I do want to get into that Willie the Kid album. I did not get a chance to check it out, but I have been listening to a bunch of his other music throughout the week anyway. So,
yeah, it's just I'm happy that he's back. I love that. I love the energy. I love the vibe. But I watched some of him on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, and he's pretty much the whole time he's like, if you do this, then these things will happen. I'm like, well, I'm with you. And there's a lot of people that need this, but it's not really my vibe. But him and Will Gilly the Kid rapping together, that was dope.
Yeah, that's dope. What a great interview for those guys, man.
Definitely. Big time.
That's one of those like dream interviews for most people that do these things.
Those guys are from Philly. That's unbelievable.
That's crazy. Like, is anybody like more on top of the world right now than Gilly the Kid, getting a Super Bowl win for his Philadelphia Eagles, getting an interview of Philadelphia legend?
They can't tell him nothing at this point.
Yeah, he's out of here.
Beautiful. With the big giant hat every time. The big giant hat kills me.
Yo, good for Gilly, man. That's dope.
I love it, man. He has been working very hard. Every time I open my phone, I see him. I watched some video the other day of him racing a guy. There was an OG that was like, I could beat you. You saw it? I could beat you anytime, any place in a race. And it's like, goes on for 2 minutes. And like Gilly legit barely beats him when they finally do race, but he like celebrates like he won the Super Bowl again. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
The Wills album. That's hilarious. I was thinking about this tweet before the pod, before we came on too, that you made about Genuine. And why did he say, only time I drink a 40 is when I want to drink a 40? Like, what does that? What does that even mean?
Same OG.
Same OG is hard though.
Man, man, what a great record. That time period, the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack, which had a lot of jams on it for some reason.
Man, the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack was crazy.
But yeah, no, I was sitting somewhere and it was started playing and I was like, why did he say that?
I mean, if we got into why did Genuine say that, we could have a whole pod just on that, because Genuine's done and said some very wild things in his songs and on stage.
Yes. Yes.
Is there any other music that came out? I've just been listening to like the same thing we talked about last week, Saba and other things.
I think there was more hip hop that dropped, but I didn't listen to any of it, so I have no real updates on it.
I know Boldy dropped a new one, but that's like a recurring joke at this point on this pod, because he always drops a new one.
Yeah, Boldy definitely dropped another one. I did not get a chance to listen to that either, but I definitely want to check it out.
I'm excited to listen to it maybe later today. But I see you're rocking a little cool hat there. Is there a reason?
Guys, if you've been listening to this podcast since its inception, I think you guys know what city I'm from. I think you guys know the amount of pride I have in this city. Know the amount of pride that I have in a couple of things that came out of this city. But as somebody that's lived in this city my entire life, that's been a sports fan in this city for a good part of my life, it's a miserable experience sometimes. And, last year as a Sox fan was not fun. We were the butt of a lot of jokes. Came out opening day during this week, picked up a win right away.
Oh, look at that.
Chicago legend throughout the first pitch. Derrick Rose was in the building.
Okay.
Won that game 8-1. Phenomenal times. Other kid from Chicago is getting to live out his lifelong dream of main eventing WrestleMania. Cool vibes. But, ladies and gentlemen, those guys in Los Angeles are frauds. They're frauds, bro. Get us up out of here, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. I had to listen to all of this for weeks. I had to listen to the Lakers are back. The Lakers are saving basketball. Nah, buddy. Saturday we played those guys, beat them by 31 points. Get the fuck out of here. Nah, man. Nah. and because I had so much fun with this on Saturday, watching them get blown out, there were people that were ready. They were ready to get their get back.
Couldn't wait. It was close too.
They were ready to get their get back. Had a rematch on the other night. Thought that they were all ready. I saw it. They were all ready to get their tweets started up and going like, ha ha, Phil, we got you this time. And I was a little worried because we were losing by 12 points. I was like, all right. And then I saw they got it down to 5. I said, okay, cool. Might be make a game out of this. We might win this. And what a sequence of events.
One of the greatest endings in basketball history, no doubt about it. Just the LeBron James place in this, doesn't it make it even sweeter, Phil?
What a sequence of events. Josh Giddey, who has just happened to be playing great basketball for us.
Balling.
We took a lot of heat for that trade last year, trading Alex Caruso. And I was trying to tell everybody, well, wait a minute. Alex Caruso is pretty much at his ceiling. This is what you're going to get out of him. You're getting a chance to get a young guy. I believe he's only 22 years old. Lottery pick. And this guy can be a stat sheet stuffer. So to see him getting the triple doubles, I felt very vindicated about that. But also to see him play as well as he did on Saturday night. Almost got a quadruple double. 8 steals on them boys. Come on, bro. Came out in this game, put up another triple double. But the ending sequence of this game, thought this game was over. Patrick Williams, who I have bashed quite a bit, not a fan of that draft pick, did his job this time. Hit a 3 in the corner.
Big 3.
Big 3. LeBron James goes to inbound the ball. Very lazy pass. Josh Giddey knocks this thing off, throws it out to the homie Kobe White, Sub-Zero, out on the arc.
Bigger
Big three. Bigger three. Because I still wasn't sure if we could win the game at that point. That got us the lead. But Kobe running up the court, my man running up the sideline, I was like, nah, don't let us win this game, bro. I know y'all not going to let us win this game. I know y'all are not going to let us sweep this series. And so Austin Reeves comes down, hits his layup. I was like, okay, well, that was
crazy too. Reeves was balling right there in that moment.
Yeah, it was a fun game. But then Josh Giddey continues, runs past everybody, gets to the logo, hand in his face, buzzer beater, Bulls win 2-0 against the Los Angeles Lakers in 2025. Sorry, buddy. Everybody that's looking to get your get back, everybody that thinks they're going to troll me, there's no get back. It's over. It's over. We beat these guys 2-0 this year. If I don't get anything else, if I don't get anything else this year, I will take this. This team is probably going to be a play-in team. They're probably going to lose in the first round. Might not even make the playoffs. Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter.
Unbelievable ending, that buzzer beater. All the threes at the end of the game were just like pressures on the line. There's people in your face trying to kill you. And for them to be under that pressure and hit that at home, Phil, unbelievable.
I've had to listen to this guy go back and forth and be in media constantly. All of this stupid Stephen A. stuff that I'm ready to go away. I don't want to hear no more about this interaction. I don't want to hear no more about that. You throwing weak shots at Wendy and all these other people in media. Nah, focus on basketball. Win some games, nigga. Fuck out of here. Come on.
Win some games.
Oh, what a W, man.
Brother, I loved it. It was a beautiful sequence of events, a great Chicago sports moment. Add it, put it on the list.
Oh, yeah. Loved it. Loved everything about it.
What happened against the Lakers is insane, man. I was like, oh, what are they? They're just writing a script for Phil, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, man. Everything about this. Gilbert Arenas' reaction to it.
Oh
my God. So fucking funny, man. Everything about it. Love this. This was, somebody was saying, man, I don't know what you did. I was like, man, listen, my birthday's still a few months away. This was a very nice early gift. I've been a pretty good boy. Don't let anybody lie to you and tell you that I'm a troublemaker.
You can't, no.
It's all cap.
Last night, what we're gonna talk about happened. I'm like, it's Chicago's up this week. I just think. Shout out to y'all. I can't be mad at it.
Yeah, man. Josh Giddey. I think it's also very funny. Gilbert Arenas has been doing this thing on his podcast, trashing about a lot of foreign players. Your guy, your GOAT, hand in his face, gets beaten by a foreign player. Good day, mate. Fuck out of here. Oh, what a time.
Perfect. Beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to happen, but as I knew it was starting to happen, I was like, this is great. Thank you.
Yeah. Chicago Bulls, great. Stacey King on commentary. I'm glad that other people outside of the city are seeing just how good he is on commentary.
He was like, Elizabeth, I'm coming to see you.
Oh,
this is so good.
So great. Love this guy, man. Yeah, later this year, Derrick Rose's jersey will be retired, hung in the rafters.
Listen, you take these moments, though. Well deserved.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive on a Saturday in Chicago, Illinois.
Mm-hmm. What's the weather like out there? People outside?
It's been pretty nice. It was around 70s yesterday. Very warm.
Yeah, people are very outside. Y'all having a good time out there.
Yeah, man. Drink it in, man. Drink it in, baby. Drink it in. Bro, going to LA and beating these guys on their home floor, coming home and capping off their series in that way. Can't get much better than that. Back to back, baby. Back to back.
Well, I wish more success for the Chicago Bulls, and I wish more success for you because this has been a great week for you.
Oh, it's only down from here, but we gotta accept these peaks when we can get them, man. We got to take these wins when we can get them because
take all the W's you can get, big dog.
Yeah, the same night watching them win, and then the Sox won that night too. I was like, buddy. I did not think this was going to be a thing. I thought for sure the Sox were going to lose, but bro, everything about this, bro.
Sun was in the air that day.
Loved it, man. And I've seen people doing the Braun is clearly not healthy. He's just coming back from the groin injury.
Oh,
I think it's very clear he's not healthy. Just in the way he's languishing a little bit, and I mean, he's 40.
That's why he's ramping it up with Stephen A. Try to distract us from the fact that he's not healthy.
I don't know, but he's 40. Like, it is what it is. You don't get better the older you get, and so it gets harder and harder to come back from these little nagging injuries, and you can see that. But saying that after he got walked off the floor by Giddy walking up on him
he was hurt. He was hurt
with the hand still up. Walking up the court with the hand still up, calling game on him. Hey, man.
Now, he been hurt, though. No, it's the GOAT. No. He got these nagging injuries. It's his leg, his knee. He worried about Bronny. Keep the excuses.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen a lot of people doing it. He's clearly hurt, but yeah, those guys are in trouble. I kept hearing this could be a run now. Nah, man.
Things change very quickly.
Nah, man. His defense still ain't hitting, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, tried to tell y'all, man.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. Angry LA people in our chats right now, but you'll get yours back. You guys get everything. It's LA.
Yeah. The only thing that would make this better, and it isn't going to be me a part of it, but I've seen a lot of people say that they want them to play the Warriors in the first round. Buddy, they play the Warriors in the first round and lose. Don't let this happen. They play the first round and lose to the Warriors of all people with Jimmy Butler over there. Hey, man, don't let this happen.
I'm breakdancing on somewhere.
Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying your week as much as I have. Yes. Hope you're enjoying your sports as much as I have. Couldn't have got much better than that win the other night.
This is your NBA Finals right here. You did it. Doesn't matter what happens for me.
I saw some people trying to throw that on us. Like, this is you guys' Game 7. I'll take that. That's fine. Because we're not going to win the championship. But guess what? Neither are you bums.
Y'all going to be on that same Cancun island as the Lakers and
y'all are going fishing too. Y'all just don't know it yet.
Nice to have high hopes, though,
Yeah, sometimes you got to temper them expectations, buddy.
Yeah.
It's all right. Bring them down a little bit.
It was the media. Oh, big surprise. Because, soon as Luka came on and they won a couple games, they were like, they're doing it. They're back. It's like, they're not back, you guys. What are you talking about? It's like when the MMA guy loses 5 fights in a row, then he wins one, and they're like, he's back. No, he's not back. He only won one fight. We have to see him win more than one fight.
I've seen a lot of that. Lakers are back. Bro, again, this guy's 40. He old, man.
In an instant, it could be like he has to be out for 5 games. He has to be out for this. He has to load management. That's what being 40 is.
Yeah.
And I love that news still continues to come out that he knew about the deal the whole time.
You see a Markieff Morris thing? And I've been looking around like, isn't this what I told you guys from the beginning? There's no way he didn't know about that trade.
Feels like very Triple H in the Montreal Screwjob, or Shawn Michaels in the Montreal Screwjob. I didn't know anything. I just took my belt and ran out of there. Yeah, I bet, dude.
Yeah, I know nothing. I know nothing about this.
Not me. Just grabbed my belt and left. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. a little nasty work. Him going over there to McAfee, and you know, it was a little nasty. But you know, we won't get into that. Only happy vibes over here, buddy.
Yes.
take that 3 home with you, buddy.
Platforms, though, Phil. That's a topic in itself, especially this week, right?
Yeah, people are. That's a definite talking point about the platforms that it's okay to go on, and when. Yeah.
Don't want to talk about it. I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah. Super chats. Send us your super chats if you want to talk to us about anything in the world of sports or wrestling this week.
Anything.
Or you just want to say, calm down, Phil. It's just one win. Nah, I won't. Sorry.
Your bombs are too loud, Phil. What are you doing here? Send in your super chats, Humper chats. Of course, we'll read them on air. We appreciate everybody for being so dope, as always, submitting them. Philip Lindsey, I'm on a different computer, so I need you to click the super chats, but I'll read them if you click on.
Oh. I am on another screen. But here we go. We got a very generous super chat from Leron Ford.
The homie says, hey, what's up, LeBron Ford? Says, happy Grapsody. I'm nothing if not a man of my word. I said on Twitter after the Bulls-Lakers game that it would be money well spent to hear what Phil had to say about this game. So, Mr. Lindsey, the floor is yours. He had the floor, LeBron, and it was worth every penny, big dog, honestly.
Yeah, man. Cleared out early. ISO for your boy. Waving off all picks, man. It's okay, man. One more out the door. We outside, buddy. I thought y'all thought it was over for me, didn't y'all? Y'all thought y'all were gonna come back and y'all were gonna win another game and I was gonna shut up. Nope.
I don't know why y'all thought it was over for me. So like they counted you out, Phil. Who was counting you out?
They thought it was over.
Who was counting you out, man?
Oh.
LeBron, appreciate you, man. Very generous super chat. I hope you're having a great one. Always appreciate the support. I'm crying here already. We're only 22 minutes into this. Travis Lindsey, homie says, thoughts on Supercard of Honor leaving WrestleMania weekend. TK is probably oversharing dates with WWE, and I don't blame him. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for you submitting that, Travis, and appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you, Travis.
What do you feel about Supercard of Honor being not WrestleMania weekend, Phil?
It kind of sucks because I've come to look forward to Ring of Honor during Super Bowls, WrestleMania weekend. But it's cool. I think Atlantic City is a good backdrop for it. Yeah. Wish I was going, but you know it is.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Selfishly, I hate it because famously, I revived the brand back to WrestleMania weekend one time. But outside of that, I think, with the history, I've explained it many a times. Like, I became a bigger fan of Ring of Honor due to Supercard of Honor being attached to WrestleMania weekend, what it represented with having people from Dragon Gate and different parts of the world come in and converge on the Supercard. But now that's just WrestleMania weekend everywhere. Like, even when the last Supercard of Honor that we went to, it didn't feel super unique because we've already seen these amazing things this weekend. So I understand them wanting to get away from it fully. It's only a few weeks after that, so it's not super deep into the year, and there's probably going to be some great stuff. So selfishly, I want it to be there, but I think it's probably for the best for them to move it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No AEW or Ring of Honor pay-per-view in Las Vegas this year. It's been a minute.
That's sad.
Been a minute. We got another one from Van Twinblade.
The homie Van Twinblade says, tomorrow's going to be another bad weather day for the Midwest for pretty much everyone. KC to Mid-Ohio and Toronto down to Jackson, Mississippi. Stay safe, everyone. What's going on out there, Phil? Are you caught in any bad weather stuff?
No, we've gotten some rain. It rained pretty hard last night, but other than
Mhm.
that, it hasn't been too bad.
Yeah, so everybody out there, I hope you guys are safe. I hope you are in with family and things you can good things are around you. Weather is scary. I'm sorry about y'all. It's unfortunate. It's been warm in California. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that at the end. Love y'all.
Got another one from Will Chisholm.
Yes, Drew crying. I got glass in my eye while Punk walks by is crazy work, and Punk trying to shoot cry, and Seth don't want the main event if Punk's in it is kind of petty.
Yeah, there are many things about SmackDown that were pretty funny to me. SmackDown on a whole, I still think it's just too long. But the stuff that worked for me last night, it worked for me.
So that's good.
Yeah.
It's people are pretty sold on it. That match at least, right at this point.
More or less. We'll get into it. We got another one from the homie Van Twemblay.
Also, St. Louis, the fuck are we doing at the Glorilla concert? Shit is embarrassing. I haven't heard about this. What happened?
I don't know nothing about that. They turning up at Glorilla concert? What's going on?
Ooh. Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, please, everybody, please stay safe. Speaking of staying safe, we got a timely message from Ten Ruta.
Sean Kingston and his mom charged with 5 wire fraud charges is wild. Also, Zarian teasing a scoop he has around the Kenny match at Dynasty. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, what Zarian's talking about, but that Sean Kingston thing is weird. Well, not weird. It turns out, if you fabricate a place to purchase things, you're gonna get caught eventually. I don't know why you would do that, but just the fact that him and his mom were doing this, and we're talking about decades in jail off of this, that's crazy.
Like when I was reading the story, like there's so much wild parts about it. Like if you just take him being who he is out of it, like this is a crazy story. He was with his mom, and then now they're like, these people are gonna potentially get decades in jail. Like decades just sounds crazy.
Yeah, I remember when Sean Kingston came out, very young, only 35 years old, and life could be potentially over. That's awful news for him. But yeah, pay what you owe, man.
That's it.
Don't mean to make light of it, but please, everybody, listen. Live within your means. Pay what you owe.
Don't be fraud niggas. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Deontay Soignier says Mina is America and an AEW. Very happy, and I know Phil was gonna be on his philosophy. I'm dead. Dynasty, we excited. Been a great week. All love, y'all. Appreciate that, Deontay. We're gonna get into the Mina stuff.
Appreciate you, Deontay. Know that you're a big Mina fan, so figured you'd be excited about that.
People are. We're gonna get into it. Tenruz also says, "Good day, mate. Aussie represent. Phil got his strut on." Phil did get his strut on.
It's so funny because my dad, the year that Giddy got drafted, he kept saying like, "Nah, this kid's gonna be good." And he was like, "The team that gets him, they got one in them." And I actually covered the draft for Bleacher Report that year, and that was a very deep draft. And that's why I kept telling people like, "Nah, Josh Giddy's all right. I don't know why you guys are so upset with this trade. He's all right."
Beyond basketball.
I mean, that part of it, of course, but there were people talking about, oh, well, he can't shoot, which is now funny. Not a consistent shooter, they said.
Wow. Yeah, shoot, posterized. That thing's gonna be everywhere. Well deserved too.
Yeah.
Varsity VQ says, "Good day, Grapsody. Thoughts on XECW guys bitching about the spike spot? Pretty soft for coming from the land of extreme."
It's his opinion, man. I don't agree with it, but it's his opinion.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like a bit at this point. Like, we see these people in the crowd at WWE, and like they're just saying, like I get it, but I just like I wish they wouldn't. Is all I want to say. Like even if you feel that way, just you saying it and attaching it to, oh, I'm gonna watch WWE. I'm gonna be associated with WWE. It's like, why do you got to say that part? And that's what these guys keep doing. It's not that they're like criticize. If they're just like, I don't like this for these reasons. Like I don't like these reasons, so I'm WWE. It's like, why do you have to make it? They're the ones make it into the tribalism or expanding on the tribalism. So it's really unfortunate. People are calling RVD out for being a hypocrite at points, and he's like, oh, I never bladed in ECW, even though he used a chair in like every single one of his matches and gave hella fools concussions probably, and was really even beyond that. RVD never used any weapons, but people say that RVD is one of the stiffest wrestlers that they ever wrestled, that he was really kicking fools, that he was really punching people, that he never learned how to lean up on his strikes. Like that was a story. So like even beyond weapons and spikes, you're kicking guys in the head hard as you can, giving up concussions, doing the 5-star frog splash, landing on them full bodies. Like it's like there's all these things, like you weren't using weapons, but you were all still using weapons.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge RVD fan. I no disrespect. Like he's on my Mount Rushmore of ECW guys. He can say this. He's a legend, but it just seems it looks a little crazy being like, and go WWE, because like, why do you have to have that part? Why can't you be like, hey, it's dangerous. You probably shouldn't do that. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. The last part of it is, man, we didn't need that. But again, it's his opinion. Like, yo, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Nah, y'all not gonna make me hate RVD. This man's a legend. No. Whole damn show. Like, nah. I ain't hating no RVD.
Never, dog. Come on, I smoke a joint with them.
Yeah, nah. But I do disagree with them. It's
yes,
fine.
That's it. That's all. You can disagree with people that you like. That's fine.
Yeah.
Will Chisholm also says LeBron's so mad the GOAT Jordan don't like him how he loved Kobe. That whole thing, Phil. I didn't.
Yeah, there were interesting things said in the McAfee interview about that, and you know, he said that they probably would be better friends after his career is over, and you know, they don't communicate more. I think, you know, I don't know Jordan personally, but I think if you read between the lines and based on what we know about the Kobe stuff and his relationship with Kobe, we didn't find out a lot about his relationship with Kobe until Kobe was gone. Mm-hmm. And so I think what it is Jordan is not the type of guy that wants to do things for show. He doesn't care about the optics. Like if he's your friend, if he really mess with you, he's gonna do that behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. And so I think what it is it might not be that he dislikes LeBron, but I just don't think he want to be a part of like all of this circus of this.
Yeah, Jordan's he's as private as you can be as somebody in that position. He's not like, you're not going to see him on the shop or a podcast or like talking to people. And like, he knows that if that a part of it is if he expands on his friendship with LeBron, like then he's back in the news because LeBron's going to be like, and I talked to Jordan last night and he said like, it's just takes on a whole different life of his own being attached to LeBron. But I kind of feel him though. Like I'm sure after he gets out of the spotlight, that's kind of a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if he ever really have a true friendship like he thinks he's going to have, big brother, little bro with Jordan. Also because Jordan, you came after all of his records. People compared you to him for a long time. Jordan's still a very competitive person, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
But I don't know any of these people. They could be best friends after this. What do I know?
Yeah, I mean, as Jordan put it, Kobe just wouldn't leave him alone. Like, right. That's why he basically forced him to be his friend.
Just like Michael Kyle, I've been watching a lot of My Wife and Kids. That fool loves him some Jordan. Tenruzza also says, if you guys get a soundboard, it is over. Damn, now people are going to be upset at us, I think.
Bro, if I had a soundboard this morning and plugged the aux in, I definitely would have called my dad. I'd be like, hey, Dad, did you watch the game? Go.
That would have been so good. See, that's the new content. We might have to move towards that.
Yeah, my dad called me immediately the next day. So, what a time, man.
Hell of an ending still, regardless. Take Phil out of this, fake Chicago and the Lakers. Just a great basketball ending.
What a time, buddy.
Diabolical laugh every time. Will Chisholm says the Phil bomb is getting over like how fans singing Cody's name. LOL.
We got a lot of serenades this week because of the European crowd. I don't know. It started to feel less special after a while because we kept hearing it over and over and over again.
So maybe that ran into a little bit of a not a problem, but like an interesting conundrum or development. Like if it's a lot, then it's different. You know what I mean? If every crowd is the day after WrestleMania Raw, then it doesn't really feel as special.
Yes.
Bianca Leia says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Have you been watching the Vlad TV interview with Swerve? Good insight and definitely shined a light on his career up to now. I'll let Phil take this.
That's what we're doing? That's what we're doing? Okay. I have not seen the interview in its entirety yet because it's still behind the paywall. Vlad usually
Vlad no money.
Yeah, I ain't giving Vlad no coins. Vlad usually does this process of like ladling out his interviews in parts, and then the full interview will be behind membership, which, you know, I feel him. That's how you make your money. I ain't knocking your hustle, bro.
Right.
Not a big fan of Vlad personally. I think that he's a big culture vulture. I don't like that a lot of people have gone up to that outlet and spilled their guts, and then that turned into some consequences for them after the fact. I also don't really appreciate certain things that he's said and done in hip hop space. I think the stuff he was doing with Marlon last year was hella whack. Like
horrible.
Not a big fan of the guy. Not a big fan of his outlet. So can't say that I was that thrilled with Swerve going up there, but I understand it. I understand it from a business point of view. This is a guy with 6 million subscribers on YouTube. He has a audience that is way wider than any pro wrestling podcast. So you going up there and doing interviews and also sitting on a set in front of them drums where a lot of big names in our space, in our culture have sat. And so I get it. I get the appeal of doing it. And the bit of it I listened to part 5 last night where he talked about the Triple H stuff. And my takeaway immediately was like, oh yeah, I get it. Like, again, not a big fan of Vlad myself, but you could tell the difference in him doing an interview and the questions that's going to be asked is questions that not your average wrestling podcaster is going to ask.
Yep.
And, you know, whether I like him or not, he's a good interviewer. He's got experience at this. He's interviewed some huge names. He's like, so yeah, I think the stuff that I did see, it was good. And I thought that Swerve was insightful. I think he's very good at the media stuff. I think that that's one of the things that helps him stand apart from people at AEW is that he's willing to do a lot of media appearances. And the bigger his star grows, the more we're going to see him in those areas. And that's going to be the thing that brings more people to AEW. Like,
facts.
When you look at WWE and how they send people to Fallon and all of these big outlets, that's why they're considered a company that makes people big stars. That's the thing that AEW hasn't quite gotten over the hump with yet. But Swerve is a guy that we've seen that has taken on the responsibility as one of the top stars in the company to do more media appearances. So I can't hate him on that. But you know, people are gonna have their opinions of him doing Vlad because it's Vlad and what that represents to some black people.
Facts. And they should.
Yeah, and it's valid. It's fair. I just think, like, from a business standpoint, I get it.
It's I have disdain for Vlad TV. I've had him blocked on all my places for years. But like every time I click on YouTube, there's somebody that I like. Like my favorite wrestler has currently on Vlad, but also my favorite comedian. I'll see like Mike Epps, like my favorite, like it's like people that I admire and love their work and like who they are. They've been on that platform. So I can't be like, I don't like, why would you do this? Because people that I like that are black, Marlon was gonna do the interview. You know what I mean? Like it's just all these things. So I can't say where I stand on that. It's not my choice of platform. I don't check for them. But I understand why Swerve did it, and I understand everything surrounding it. I watched a couple of the things in it about the exit from WWE and those things, and people don't understand the Vlad platform, but then they also do understand it. Like they know what happens there, but then they don't understand when Vlad really gets into stuff. He's going to dive into stuff like Phil said, that regular podcast people, regular interview people aren't going to get into. He gets deep into. He's like, let's get into this one thing for this amount of time. So it's like it's different process. So of course he was going to get to these things. All the other extracurriculars, I don't want any parts of, honestly.
Yeah, the part that I listened to was the part where he's talking about Triple H and him telling Triple H he wanted to be one of his go-to guys, and how he kept going to him, asking for more responsibilities, asking him what more can I do, who can I talk to, and he told a great story about how he kept going to him, and then eventually, like a year and a half in, that led to him finally just going and talking to HBK on his own and starting to view tape and stuff. And he became a HBK guy out of that. Like he ended up really appreciating his mentorship, and he had a big influence on his time there and probably his time in AEW. And I thought all of that stuff was, eye opening. I've heard that before, but I think seeing him say it on that platform was cool. I am interested in seeing some of the rest of the interview, but again, I ain't paying Vlad no money. So once all the parts come out, I will watch some more of it. There's some other stuff I've seen people comment on that I don't feel comfortable talking about because I haven't watched the interview in full, so I can't really give it the proper context that it was set in. It was very interesting watching again why someone would do Vlad, because when you do a Vlad interview and when you do the Club Shay Shays and these kind of interviews, you then have an orbit, and that brings in a lot of people that's like, okay, well, let me respond to that, or let me get, my response to this and tell my side of the story. And so it's very interesting watching him do that and then seeing the Top Dollar stuff play out. And I'm just like, you guys, do I have to say it? Do I have to do the thing that I always do? Do I have to do the bit?
Yep.
It's really not a bit. It's just almost a catchphrase at this point. You don't know these people, guys. Like, it's just like, you got to be careful when you get into the interpersonal beefs between people, because
sides.
Everybody has their side of the story, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. And I don't know enough about the situation to get into, oh, well, this person's right and this person's wrong. I don't think that's the case here. It seemed like Swerve was telling his side of the story about how the stuff happened with their exit. I didn't take away from that he was blaming anybody. I didn't take away from that he was throwing anybody under the bus. I think he was just retelling how it happened. Right. And also, this isn't new information. The stuff the stuff with somebody over there potentially having heat, didn't even say him by name, just said somebody had heat, somebody was quote unquote aggressive. Now, I get it. I get once a black person has aggressive tied to them, it's hard to wash that off. And that same thing with women. Once you get that difficult label, that kind of follows you throughout your career. Definitely. And, we're both black men. We know what that means when you get that label of aggressive linked to you. Yes. And so I get why Top Dollar would feel a way about that. I get why, something that he didn't appreciate being a part of the news cycle again, coming out again. I could see why he would be upset with that.
Definitely.
But at the same time, I seen people act like Swerve called him aggressive. That's not what happened. Swerve said that somebody called him, and that's what they told him. Or whatever the chain of events. Because again, I haven't seen that part of the interview because it's still behind the paywall. So of course I'm paraphrasing things, but I do think that there's a lot of stuff here where they're making it out like, oh, well, why is he snitching on him, or why is he throwing him under the bus? And that's not what I took from that. That's not my takeaway, because again, this was reported 4 years ago. It was reported that there was heat here from multiple sources. This isn't new. It's only new to people outside of our bubble, and that's probably why he told that story on this outlet outside of the wrestling bubble for people who are not in the know. And so,
because if people's first question, if you see a wrestler on Vlad's platform, most of those people that watch that platform know WWE, and their first question is going to be, who is this guy? Why isn't he in WWE? And Vlad knows that. So you have to answer that question kind of off rip, you know?
Yes. And so, yeah, I it is what it is. Again, I understand why Top Dollar would not want to see any sound bites about that.
That's a fact. That's probably whack, especially because he's trying to get
Yeah.
away from it. I think he's got a lot of goodwill post that stuff to with fans, with wrestling companies. Like, I don't even think he has any of those labels at this point anymore. So I understand why he came on and addressed it. And a lot of people are conflating the things too, Phil, because they think that the guys are talking to each other and they're responding. Like Swerve is telling the story of hearing this, telling the story of being told the story, and then AJ's responding to the story, not to Swerve. So people are like, oh, they're doing this and they're doing this, and that's not what's really happening.
Yeah, and I mean,
are really paying attention to context.
The timing is interesting. The interview not being fully out. The first clip of it came out Monday, and then within 3 days we got the Top Dollar response. And I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I do know how I feel about that. I just don't feel comfortable saying it here because people will feel away. I don't know, man. It looks away to me. I think some things are being lost in translation here because, behind a paywall, and then we're reading things from aggregation. And yeah, there's bits of this that I've heard. There's bits of this I know that, again, I don't feel comfortable saying here because I don't want to be in the middle of anybody's personal stuff. Also, we're going to get branded away regardless because we're basically Swerve Avengers over here. And I don't want to turn this into the defense of this guy while other people are again kicking his back in. But some of it looks away. I don't know, man. I just wish people would be objective about some of these things. But totally. I get how it goes when you don't like somebody. Sometimes every time you see something that confirms your dislike about them, you're gonna run with it. And
see, I told you, Bob. I told you. I didn't told you, and then I totally understand it. I think there's a lot of these points that we need to take us out the group chat. We don't need to be. These are personal things, but they're on big platforms. They're on things. I understand this. I just kind of wish everybody would talk. I mean, I guess it feels like they've had some talks and things, and it probably looks crazy when I don't know, man.
There's bits of here that like I said, I know that other people don't know that I don't feel comfortable saying because, again, it ain't my business, and it's between people. But
I like both the guys, so I don't really. I'm not picking sides. I don't care.
We were just here last week saying people got to give Dollar his credit because they're doing diss tracks and doing parts of the gimmick that he was doing. So it ain't no hate to either of these guys. Of course, I like both of these guys. I've seen Dollar in person more than once. He's been nothing but cool in person.
Yeah, really cool.
But I just think that this is wrestling and this happens. People say things and it's I got to tell my side of the story, and then it turns into fans running
rap because that's what they do in rap. Let me go talk on the Breakfast Club, and then I'm gonna go talk over here. It happens like that.
Yeah, and then fans do what they do. They run with things, and sometimes you can not do that. It's cool. I don't know.
Everybody got to pick sides. So this is my person. I knew it. It confirms the thing that I've been saying, and it's all right.
Yeah, and to my point before, we've defended Swerve a lot on this podcast, so to look away if I say certain things. And, our guy is his family. So it's I can't, it's just certain dots connected that I can't respond to certain things because it'll look away.
We were just talking about the Joe Budden podcast connections we have, and people probably don't understand how funny Swerve Avengers is. You know what I mean? They're probably just that's funny. It's so funny if you really understand it.
Yeah.
Good bit. But yeah, that's how kind of how we feel about it.
Yeah. I know people are gonna want to, pick and choose and do certain things, but not I, buddy. Not I.
I'm good. I just like wrestling and wrestlers. And they have beef or wrestling beef or some things happen backstage one time. Yeah, of course, it's wrestling.
I will say the thing that I think is funny in a lot of this is, and this is kind of what I was talking about last week when I said there's such thing as real heat. I think sometimes people get into what they think they know about somebody, and then that turns into, oh, I don't like this person.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. People are showing you mostly what they want you to see. A lot of these people, again, are playing characters. Even if they're doing interviews, this is stuff that they want you to see.
Speak on it. Mm-hmm.
So take that how you will. I'm sure people will, but I don't know.
Before I saw some, I don't listen. Before we move forward, because Swerve also addressed another thing in this little media cycle about a black man with long dreads. That you know him. He does his thing. He won. But I saw him training with a very horrible person recently, and probably shouldn't do that. Booker T.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Training with that horrible guy in Florida that nobody should be around. Booker T. Don't.
Oh no.
They're like, oh, it was a seminar. It was a blah blah blah. You got to get that guy out of there as soon as you see him. I don't care.
No.
What do you want from me? Oh, that guy's there. Get him out.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of the clip of when he's talking about the Booker T stuff, and I've seen the excerpts of that part. He was shooting. He was definitely shooting.
That is a fact. Like I don't that other stuff. There's stuff, a bunch of stuff. This was straight shooting from the hip.
He was shooting. Some people are not gonna like that, but
when he's like, I'm not saying that. That's what the people are saying.
And he's right.
Yeah,
he's right.
He's right on the money. That's the best part.
When I initially saw it, because this was right, like initially when the Vlad thing hit the internet, and I saw the aggregations popping up, and boy, when them aggregations popped up, they hit the timeline like cold fries and grease, bro. It was.
Shit was definitely popping.
it was getting crazy, and so I saw some of the reactions to it. I saw some people saying, oh, well, right message. She's not wrong, just wrong messenger. And I'm just like, guys, we've seen other people say similar things. This ain't new.
And then the Cedric thing came out like minutes later. It felt like, where he was like, also.
I mean, just look at in a vacuum what he said about Triple H giving him the run around, and then he went to HBK, and that was the guy that really helped him. And look at where Melo is right now.
That's exactly what I was thinking of when he was like, I'm an HBK guy, and immediately my brain shot to Melo, and I was all, Melo's in somewhere. But it's so funny thinking about the Cedric thing, because remember the whole bit, Phil, in the tournament, the Cruiserweight Classic, sign Cedric, who came out and raised his arm and pointed to him, and we're gonna get the job done, brother, and did all his thing, gassed everybody up like he tends to do. And then Cedric's like, I didn't even see that fool. I didn't even know him. I was a Paul Heyman guy. So it's like, but everybody's under the impression that he gave you the pat on the back and it was a go.
Yep.
And we just keep hearing stories like that. Everybody, like all of them keep saying, oh, that guy, it wasn't him, it was somebody else. It wasn't him, it was his dad. It wasn't him, it was blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's starting to become a pattern. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. And so, it is what it is. Tim Ruza, I missed one of your super chats. I'm going to grab that in a second. But Don't Be Fan Twin Blade sent me the article to talk about this Glorilla thing that he was talking about. Apparently, Glorilla cut a St. Louis concert short after fights broke out among the fans. Yikes. The quote here is, come on, man. Y'all better than this. Mid-show attempting to defuse the melees. They still fighting. What the fuck? Come on, y'all. I ain't that mad. Y'all ain't that mad. Telling people y'all ain't that mad is very funny.
Come on, y'all. They still fighting.
Y'all ain't that mad, bro. That's funny. But yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's
hopefully,
the situation.
Yeah, hopefully people got out of there safe. Hopefully no one was seriously hurt.
That's why in our advanced stage, like I only pick concerts that I know. Like, I mean, the old heads might be fighting, but that's rare because they're all sitting down.
You're not gonna do your Johnson Majors and break up the fight in there, like get in between them, get in between some youngsters, and spread your arms out.
Absolutely not. With the old newsies fit on, definitely not. I ain't
yeah.
no why ends up. Y'all got it. I'm running out of there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hopefully people got out of there safe. That sucks that people didn't get a Glorilla concert. Paid, I'm sure, a lot of money. So that sucks.
Hopefully they get to run it back and it goes better this time.
Yeah. Here's Tim Bruza super chat I missed.
He says, Tim Bruza says, also Dynasty, the only pay-per-view in April, then maybe televising the roast of Mania is a wild decision. A wreck. Are they televising it?
I don't think they are. I haven't seen anything that said they are.
Collision on Thursday, Mania week. Yes. Oh, yeah, they're moving Collision to Thursday. I guess it's going to be live on Thursday, which is pretty dope.
Yes.
The roast. You going to the Roseville?
I am not.
What about WrestleMania After Dark? You get your meet Braun Breaker and Liv Morgan tickets?
No, I won't be there.
So, I mean, because like you're not a rich person with those prices.
The prices are crazy, bro. The prices are crazy.
Like if you go to have a good time and like go to the show and go to the meet and greets and go to Access, you're in debt.
Yeah, nah, I ain't got it. I ain't got it like that.
I saw somebody on Reddit say, "Oh, me, my dad, and my two brothers got WrestleMania tickets in the nosebleeds, and it was $4,000." And I was like, "What happened?"
What?
So essentially, like $500 a night for each person if it's broken down for less. Whew. It's sad, Phil. I don't want the like. I want everybody to be there, but not at the sacrifice of money.
It's crazy times, buddy.
Oh, fire. There we go. Hey, what's over there? Say to get Mania tickets this year, people are going to be moving like Mitch from Paid in Full after they kidnap Sonny. Honestly, though, I was saying, Phil, they're going to have to, everybody's going to pull up to Vegas early to try to gamble to win money to go to these shows.
Yo, using ransom money to go to WrestleMania is hilarious, bro.
Honestly, though, it's ridiculous. It's funny because there's all this talk, and I saw like that tweet that's like, this is the lowest attended WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. But they're still sold like 47,000 seats on both sides. I'm like, see, this is why this lowest talk shit is dumb. Because they still got like 80, all these tickets out. So why are we even talking about that?
Yeah.
Stop it. Even in WWE, he's winning. It's in WWE and AEW, but they're winning. Why are we talking about? They haven't sold this much. They still sold a shit ton of tickets at a very high price.
It's WrestleMania. They're good. They're not worried.
Right. Freak 51 says Phil Lindsey is the only Chicago Phil I acknowledge. The other one out here hugging up on the idiot daughter and doofus son-in-law. SMH. I mean, them running back old clips and quotes and putting them together with new stuff, Phil.
Looks nasty.
A little bit.
Looks nasty.
Just a bit.
Yeah, we got you, Van. I saw it.
Appreciate the Van Twinblade said check the Discord for the Glorilla story. So we've updated it. Appreciate you, Van. Thanks for updating us. Yep. Rick Young says, Phil, you going to GCW or Collision tonight? Chicago's lit.
Well, Collision's not in Chicago. I think it's in Peoria, right?
Oh.
Yeah, Peoria is quite a ways from me. I'm not driving out. Yeah, I think the next Dynamite that's here is in May. I think
they did announce that.
Yeah, I might go to that. And I am not going to GCW. I'll probably go to a bunch of GCW shows in Vegas
very soon here. Yeah.
That Bloodsport card is looking better and better.
Yeah, they're loading it up.
Yeah, I just saw the announcement. We're gonna have Jordan Blade versus Layla Hirsch. It's a dope one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's some heat. Oh yeah. I'm locked in. That's gonna be good.
Oh boy, from Super Chat regular.
The homie Leonard Aaron's III says, new shirt. I won the Rumble and all I got was this shirt. Parentheses, because unless I'm beefing with Roman or kin to him, I'm not headlining WrestleMania. This is a Jey Uso shirt, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Collision is in Milwaukee. I think Dynamite is in Peoria. I got that mixed up. Sorry, guys.
Somebody that I know that I podcast with, he's one of my bestest friends, said this exact thing was going to happen at around Royal Rumble time, and nobody believed him.
Listen, sometimes it takes a minute. I know I say things sometimes, and it takes a minute for it to play out, but that's cool.
It always plays out though.
Sometimes I'd be right, man. Not always, but sometimes. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about. Appreciate you guys for sending your super chats. That is the best way to get your chat read on this show. But you can also send us your Humper Chats at humperchats.com/Fightful.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got a handful. From Tony P, he says, congrats to Mina. The Stardom fans and wrestlers seem to be really happy for her. They all know the work she put in. As for Petty of the Week is host choice, but mine's as you feel. For your joy, my pain as a Heat fan. For that giddy buzzer beater, your joy was showing. LOL.
Phil with the bombs. Yep. I think you got it. And that was mild. He could have won another 30 if he wasn't being nice, because he knows we got to get into wrestling stuff. So you guys are actually lucky.
Listen, man. I know we got Lakers fans in the chat. I know we got Lakers fans that listen to this show.
Yep.
And so, I think there's more pain to come for you guys. I don't want to I don't want to just jump on too soon. You guys got a whole playoff run to try and push. But yeah, man.
Whole playoff run to try to push. That was a shot there too.
Man.
It's going to be tough. That's it. But again, Los Angeles, we live in LA, so we can take that. Or you guys live in LA. I don't live in LA.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Mina. Mina Shirakawa was in the news this week because she officially announced that she will be leaving Stardom and heading to AEW. That was coming off of the report that dropped earlier this week. And then she did the official press conference to let the fans know that she will effectively be leaving Stardom in April. She's got some shows left. She's got the April 2nd show where she's going to be wrestling her stablemate Micah. And then she is going to be doing the Stardom shows during WrestleMania weekend. But after that, she will be heading to AEW.
This is not surprising. I think most people who grew to love Mina over the time discovering her in AEW were all can't wait to see her signed to AEW. So everybody on that side, I think, is happy about this decision. The way that Mina has talked about wanting to work a lot of the women in AEW has gotten me excited for what more they could expand on, because it's been kind of, guided when she's over here. It's a lot of the Mariah stuff. We haven't seen just Mina's going crazy against everybody on the roster, which I think is going to be great. She's going to get even more over as she goes to AEW. My thing is, how did it, because I saw you tweet a little bit, or you're skeeting about it a little bit on Blue Sky about kind of the end of her Stardom run, and some people don't feel like things were that great towards the end.
Yeah, I think you could see coming out of Cosmic Angels that Mina was starting to figure it out. Mina was starting to become someone that they could rely on. Mm-hmm. And so seeing her in AEW, it felt like a lot of times AEW made her feel like a bigger deal than she did in Stardom. They were putting her in the big title matches. Of course, she had the match against Saya Kamitani. She was the one to end her reign with the white belt. But then she just lost the belt right away to Tam. Tam became a double champion. And then they never went back to that with Mina, which I was really surprised with all the storylines that they got up to that point. And having her beat Saya was such a big moment. Mm-hmm. I was not a fan of how they did that. And I love Tam, but I just wish that they would have given Mina more time with the white belt. And then, just how they've booked her for the past year or so, like starting the new stable with Micah, and she's hasn't been in like a whole bunch of big matches or big feuds. It just kind of feels like, she's playing a role there, which is fine. But honestly, I've enjoyed more of her stuff that she's done outside of the company for the past year or so. And, when you listen to her talk, she's talked a lot about wanting to wrestle in the U.S. I believe during the press stuff this week, she said that Asuka was one of her big inspirations to want to come to America and wrestle. So nobody should be really surprised that she's coming to the U.S. because she's talked about it so often, just as often as she's talked about wanting to wrestle in the Tokyo Dome and want to wrestle for New Japan. And she got to do that in Japan in January, got to wrestle in the Dome. Great match with Mercedes, but you could tell like there's something here. Like her English is very good. I think she's very entertaining. She's very likable. The AEW audience already likes her. So this seems like it makes sense to me.
I love that the overseas wrestlers get to now have like a community. Like when she comes to America now, there's other Japanese women's wrestlers that have experienced the things that she's going to experience and can impart wisdom, and a lot of them live in the same area. So it's like she become accustomed to America a lot faster, which I think is very great. But yeah, I think everything that she's done beyond that, it's so interesting that they didn't capitalize on it. I think that kind of says some things about the way that Stardom works, because over here in America, she was super over, and you would think they would do something over there. But now she's going to be here in America. What do you think her AEW trajectory kind of looks like going into this? Where does she land?
I think it's great that she already has like some baked in stories that she can do. You have Mariah there. You have the rematch I would assume we're going to get with Mercedes at some point. You've got the stuff with her and Tony that you can revisit. And then you've got a bunch of new opponents outside of that. You still have got like the Sheeta match you can do. You've got now, I'm on the bandwagon. If you guys are not on the bandwagon, I don't know how you're not. There's the Mega Bane match. There's
who's not on the? Please chime in if you're not on the Mega Bane bandwagon, because I'd like to talk about it.
But yeah, there's so many big matches she can do now. I think that this is going to be great for her. Hopefully, sky's the limit for her. Hopefully, she keeps doing New Japan Strong stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riho is another one I saw in the chat. Riho's. I wonder what is her health update, because we haven't heard anything on Riho in a while.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too, because it's been kind of a long time. Yeah, there's still a long laundry list of people that Mina could have great matches with in AEW. She has some foundation laid already. People are excited about it. The news was exciting to a lot of people this week. I think this is great for her.
Yes. And I think Stardom would be fine. They still have like so many wrestlers to build around. They still have a crop of talent that they're starting to build up. The big one for me for Stardom is Mayu going to stay? We still don't really have an answer on that one. And that's kind of the big shoe I'm waiting to drop. If she stays put, that's going to be interesting. But if she leaves and hands to Marigold, that also could be kind of a backbreaker.
Ooh, tough one. She's going to be in Vegas?
I believe so. I haven't seen any of the matches announced for the Stardom show just yet. But yeah, Stardom will be just fine. I think this is a big pickup for AEW. I think it's a great addition to the women's division. But yeah, Stardom will be just fine.
Right. Was it a Stardom show last year or TJPW in Philly?
I think there was both. Are you talking about the one we went to?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Stardom show.
That was fun. That was really fun.
That was didn't we see Megan Bain versus Julia at this show?
Oh, we did.
Yeah. Really good match.
Damn, that's crazy. In the ECW arena, that show was hard. I want to go back. Great times.
I was just thinking of something I saw later that night that our friend is very funny, man. Our friend is very,
that
very
was
funny.
A hilarious day that day, honestly. There's a lot going on.
But yeah, out of that as well, we brought up Mariah, so might as well get into Mariah is apparently in a contract year. Her contract will be up soon. Let me double check. I don't think that we got the official date when it's up, but that hit the internet this week as well, that Mariah could end up on her way out of AEW or up for a bag. Because, I mean, you're talking about balled out in a rookie year, balled out in a contract year. Now you got to show her the loot.
If anybody in history has earned some loot, this is exactly why right here. What she did in her rookie year in AEW, in a company that it significantly doesn't do a lot of great women's main events and things, stories that are focused for a long time. She got probably what a lot of people are calling the greatest AEW story of all time. Finished on a crazy note. Her and Tony told an amazing story. Like, she earned all the pennies she's about to get. Is there a world where she's not in AEW though? That'd be crazy. Where if she just did all this, Phil, and she's gone. Do you? But where do you stand on this? Because I'm like, what?
I mean, anything is possible.
Anything definitely is possible.
I never saw a world where Cody ended up leaving and Cody left. Just like I didn't think I would see a world where CM Punk would be back over there, but he is, and so anything is possible. I don't know, but I think I would assume, like, based on the way that she was used in her rookie year and getting the title run and this big massive story with Tony Storm, that she would stay put. But I don't know. People dug up some of her old tweets this week, and I was looking around like, guys, y'all didn't know this?
Yeah.
For context, people were bringing up a lot of her old tweets of her wearing WWE merch or her going to WWE shows. She was a big WWE fan. Like a lot of wrestling fans at one point. That isn't new because I followed her for a long time. I followed her before AEW. And so I already knew that she was a WWE shop influencer. So I don't know why people are acting like, oh, she's definitely gone. Look at this. Like, bro, yeah, she was a WWE fan.
Right. No, who's surprised about that? I think the biggest kind of most telling thing I've seen though, Phil, is where is she?
I mean, it makes sense for her to be off TV currently after the Tony Storm thing, actually add some weight to this and then bring her back. But it might add, fuel to some people's belief that she's not coming back. But I don't know. Maybe
said a word about her. Mentioned her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe the Mina signing is a, bargaining chip because they are friends. Maybe that's a way to bring her back. I don't know. But again, I would have to assume you got to give her the loot, bro. Like, if you're not, I don't know what we're doing.
If she goes over there, how bad is it on AEW?
That narrative of AEW don't make no new stars, and they potentially getting her to this position in America. I mean, we can talk about the Stardom run and what that did for her, but this AEW run and what that's going to do for her in the long run, heading over there after the year she had, that would be, that'd be a big loss for AEW and a massive win for WWE because you could plug her in anywhere over there. You could plug her in on NXT and she would do very well. You could plug her in straight on the main roster and I think she would do well.
You can't do this again, you guys. You can't.
Yeah.
You cannot do this. We're gonna talk about one guy that did this is about to main event the show. The other guy that did this has main evented like 3 times in a fucking row at this point. The biggest show of the year. After what I've witnessed at Revolution, Phil, and that what I've witnessed multiple times throughout the last year of Mariah do where she's grown to, how could this even be a thing? You wouldn't hear about no contract, nothing, because I would have already given her the bag immediately after that Revolution match.
Yeah.
There can't be another platter, dude. I'm like, you can't train them to go over there. That looks crazy. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, I would hate to see that personally.
I would understand though.
Yeah, I'm trying to find anyone that has the specifics. It just everywhere I've seen, it just says that her contract will be up soon. She's nearing the end of it. So it's set to expire this summer, but we don't have an exact month, so I don't know. But yeah, that would be a massive, massive loss to me, because I don't think you would argue like this is a bigger loss than losing like Tony or some of their bigger stars. But in terms of what this means of starting to build somebody up, and you had a young talent that you could potentially build this company around in the future, and then she's just going to go over there. You've put a lot of equity into her rookie year and making this woman matter, and to just lose her in the midst of this push that she's gotten, that would be big.
And she goes over there hot off of the. If her last thing she did in AEW was the Hollywood ending, and she shows up in WWE, Phil, that's crazy. What? Like I don't even understand how this could happen, but I do understand how this could happen because this is wrestling. But I'm just saying, listen, you set yourself up for this. Like you've gotten a future superstar that you could build your company around. Like keep them.
Yeah, and we've seen this before. We've seen this before where, like you said, you would think we wouldn't even get up to the date where their contract's up, that we would be already ready to re-sign this contract. We've seen this story before, so I don't know.
As soon as you started saying it, I was like, oh yeah.
But we also saw this story with Garcia, and Garcia ended up staying. So I don't know. I don't know what this means. I would hope that conversations are being had, because yikes.
Crazy. A lot of contract talk, because another story we have right here on the docket is pretty much concerning that contracts and leaving AEW and trying to go somewhere else too, right?
That's right. Saraya made the announcement this week that she is wrapping up her time with AEW, and she is heading for other opportunities. She hasn't said what she wants to do yet, but she is finishing up her time with the AEW. She said that this was a mutual decision. There is no hard feelings. She's happy with her time with AEW, but she felt like this was the right decision for her at the moment.
Love it. I think it's great that she has self-awareness, that she understands situations, and that she's like, if it's mutual, you guys aren't going to do this, and I don't really want to do what you guys are presenting to me probably. Let's just end this. I'll move forward. I appreciate all the opportunities. She's had some great moments to her resume, being in AEW, Phil, like the Wembley stuff, and getting to travel around with her brother, I'm sure was great. Like, I think if she did it, like, I don't think there's anything to be ill towards of. How did you feel about the Saraya run in AEW?
There are bits of it that were definitely not great, but we had been through the journey with her of coming back in 2018, 2019, and working to come back from that neck injury, and then tragically getting hurt again, re-injuring her neck, and then having to retire for good, and just how emotional that was for her, and her trying to figure it out as an on-screen character, but still wanting to wrestle. And so getting to see her go somewhere else and get that opportunity to wrestle, that initial pop she got at Grand Slam with Fire, and then some of the matches she's got to be a part of, some of the things she got to be a part of, like you said, winning the championship in her home country, when she thought she was never going to wrestle again. That's a great moment. Getting to work with women that are clearly inspired by her, like Ruby Soho, right. And do the Outcast stuff. Again, you could get into whether the Outcast stuff was always good. No, it wasn't. But I do think that she just, on the surface of her getting to come back to wrestling and do something as somebody that had an impact on wrestling in a big way at one point, I think that was cool in itself. I think she had good matches with Tony. I think she had, matches that I enjoy here and there, but overall, it wasn't quite what people wanted it to be. I think they had been in search of this big female signing that they had never gotten. And so with the pedigree that Saraya came in with, I think you wanted, yeah, we did get the Outcast theme out of it.
That's what I was going to say. Like, if anything, we did get Philip Lindsey singing the Outcast theme out of this whole thing. So like, I'll take that. It's like you taking the Bulls game. Like, I'll take that little nugget, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, I think they wanted this big free agent signing for the
Yeah.
women, and with the pedigree she had coming out of like the NXT run and everything with WWE, I think we wanted that to be this thing that helped lift the women's division, and it ended up you got that in Mercedes. So
That's what I was gonna say. It was they wanted
yeah,
Mercedes. That whole promo, that the whole feud with Britt, if that would have worked so much better if it was with Mercedes first. But I understand, like you said, Saraya is very influential in the
yes,
game of what she did and what she, the groundwork that she kind of laid, the movies and all this stuff. I think that it makes sense that they were trying to treat her and trying to make it into a bigger thing. Didn't totally work out, but I think there was a lot of moments that she can, hang on to and move forward with. She's still like, there's some wrestlers, no matter what, no matter how hard they try, how matter hard they get into AEW, that are WWE wrestlers to the core, and she was just one of them.
yeah. I mean, she's just one of those wrestlers. Like, no matter what is going on in her personal life, people love Saraya. Like,
Yes.
if you were like a big fan during the Diva era or a certain time for women's wrestling fans are extremely passionate, and man, they love Saraya, bro.
They are
Like,
so passionate. The fucking Mercedes, what the crew or whatever, every
Yeah.
time I see them at AEW shows, they are hardcore, Phil. They will rip your eyes out.
Did you see the Gabe Kidd clip this morning of him saying he'll never tweet about Mercedes again?
No, I didn't.
He's doing the Chet Hanks patois while he's saying he'll never talk about Mercedes again.
The Chet Hanks patois is killing me, dog.
Yeah, bro. Seriously, he's like, "Shut your bumbleclot mouth." Like,
Oh my god, he's doing it.
you guys see it?
I have to find my phone. Sorry, you guys.
But here, look, I'll read this while you're doing that. We got this announcement from the first episode of Saraya's new podcast, Rule Breakers with Saraya, and that's where she gave the announcement that she is leaving AEW. She said, "I'm here to tell you that me and AEW's relationship have come to an end. I had an amazing time there. There's no bad blood between us. I had such a magical time." So yeah, I think that's great. I think
I can just see this. Can't hear it, but I can see from the way that his lip moving that he's doing that.
yeah, you gotta be careful with certain wrestlers. I don't want to smoke with their fan base.
0% Mercedes. I've seen the Mercedes ones in person because like the crew, they have a certain type of vibe about them, and like you don't want those problems at all. I saw when it was that original when she was in San Jose, when she did the New Japan show, and like they pulled up, and I was like, oh yeah, they don't fuck around. They're different. They're different than like other wrestling fan bases. Like they do not fuck around.
Yes. But yeah, man, good for Saraya. I'm glad that, she's got the book coming out. She's been doing like the press tour for that. She's got the podcast popping off now. She looks like she's in good spirits. She looks like she's happy. So good for her, man. And with that other report that we'll talk about in a sec, this could be a very advantageous time for her to go back to WWE and do a one-off because she unfortunately missed WWE Evolution in 2018 because she re-injured her neck. And so with the report that it's coming back, maybe she'll be able to take part in the second one. I think that would be a great full circle moment for her.
I was going to say, if anybody should be involved with Evolution 2, is definitely her. Like, her not being a part of the first one is unfortunate, but like, again, like if you have the opportunity now, I definitely would see her being on that show. So good timing.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say her run was disappointing, but also, good for her. Like it's hard for a lot of people to get a second chance when everybody's telling you you're never going to wrestle again, and she did that. So, good for her.
This is Mar House. Shut up the page. Saraya.
It was some funny bits about this where I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing.
See, there's a couple of things in it that I was like, good job.
It was some funny bits, like her saying, I wasn't really that interested in going back to wrestle. I wanted to get my brother a job, and I was like, there's a few caps in the wraps there. I feel you, but or where she was saying, well, you guys can call me whatever you want. You can call me Paige. You can call me Saraya. I said, oh yeah, I see where we're going.
Yeah.
She tweeted out the lyrics to her WWE theme. I was like,
lay it out there, big dog.
I see it.
I'm not mad at it. Listen. Yes, I'm sure they told you couldn't wrestle while you worked there, and now you can. So you want to go back. I'm not even mad at it.
Nah. Speaking of which, I was saying this last night because I rewatched Dynamite last night, and we got the Hurt Syndicate stuff. MVP, and Big Bill. I don't know what happened there, but I was like, you gonna let this guy get any lines in? Nope. You're just gonna keep. You can just keep stepping on his lines. That was great. The MJF and Bobby stuff was great as well because Bobby came out and he was like, "Wait a minute, this guy, give me that card." Mm-hmm. He was like, "Wait, this card? Hey, give me that." Tore it up right in front of his face.
Like, he could have pushed him, said, "Nah, we're not doing this." For him to rip the card up and be like, "No, don't even think about it, big dog." And them in the back being like, "That fool out of everybody? Like, what you mean?" And MVP being like, "Look, I needed to do business." But yeah, MVP and Big Bill, Phil. I was saying on the watch along, turn MVP's mic off, and I love MVP.
Cut his mic.
Cut that mic off. If we're trying to establish number one contenders, MVP is destroying these guys off rip. I don't want to see them fight. They're dead already. And it's BK too. So I'm like, no, he starts out just going immediately at BK. BK don't even, he out there for 3 seconds and he's like, you're something. I'm like, yo, hold on a second. What's going on? And then Big Bill starts talking, and after every line, MVP's like, and this, and another thing, and you're this. I'm like, yo, what's happening?
Yeah, that was crazy to watch. Poor guys, they got chewed out by Jericho, then went out there and tried to cut a promo, and this happened. I was like, dang, man, let my guys live, man. Hold on.
Fight back, you guys.
Hold on. I laughed at the backstage part because they had Alicia set up the interview and then they shooed her away to have the personal conversation. And I don't know if this was just me, but this was very similar to Jay's beef with Dame. I went on vacation and then I came back and Cameron is signed with this label and he's got his feet kicked up on the table. What is this? Like, I go on vacation and I turn my TV on and you're hugging this guy. What is this?
I didn't know you were going to go to Rockefeller with this. That's hilarious. But for reals though, I like MVP's side of being like, look, I sent y'all on vacation, but that doesn't mean I'm never on vacation. I'm always trying to expand this. Me and Max have history. Like, it's Max. Like, he's a big star. Like, this makes a lot of sense. But for them to be like, nah, not a fan, not doing it. We have someone in mind, I think. So that's good.
Yeah, maybe a certain guy that just did an interview. I have to assume that there's a good chance we could see him over there as well.
I hope so.
He said that he's got unfinished business with Hurt Business / Hurt Syndicate as well. So I would love to see him in this group. Also, the matches that we could see him in. I would love to see Cedric over there, bro.
Y'all must have forgot Roy Jones Jr. that Cedric Alexander is a hooper, brother. Like,
yes. One
of my original, part of the reason that I'm here, because I was like, oh my God, Cedric Alexander. I remember seeing him in 20 something. They used to call him the Black Roderick Strong for a little bit. That's when he first came into the indies, and he was stocky and he was doing all these things. But then he changed into this completely different guy, and he's been consistently getting better every single year. He is a main event star now, but he's never been given the opportunity to show that. And I hope that he's given the opportunity to show that.
Yes. Yeah. Curious to see how that goes because, of course, his wife was there at one point. Did not end in a great way. So I don't know if, bridges can be mended. And
I'm not mad if they aren't,
I don't know, but man, Cedric over there would be great. Cedric over there with those guys getting the entire band back together. I just want to see it so bad. Please just make this happen, please. I don't know how much longer he has left on because it's got to be in a non-compete, right?
I would think so. Yeah. That'll be getting pretty close, though, right?
He got announced for something as well.
Oh, yeah. He's been announced for a few things, actually.
Yeah, he got announced for House of Glory and something else, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I've seen him announced.
But, man, just... Yeah. But, yeah, seeing him back out in the Indies in itself also. Very excited for that as well.
That's going to be dope. Last week, there was a match with, at the West Coast Pro Show, the main event was Kevin Blackwood versus Trevor Lee, and it was just great to see Trevor Lee back on the Indies, and the reason that, both these guys' chants exist is because of Trevor Lee and Cedric Alexander. Now to know that they're both back on the Indies, I think Cedric's going to be one that, like, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I forgot this he's amazing. He can work. He can do this. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, same. We've got some more Humper chats to get into, some more contract stuff to get into. But before we do that, I'm going to hit you guys with a word from our sponsor.
BetOnline.ag is the official betting partner of Fightful. 100% of the time when you get the odds from Fightful, they are coming from BetOnline.ag. And it's not just wrestling, it's not just MMA and boxing. It's football, it's basketball, baseball, hockey. They have the earliest lines. You can bet big with the high limits and rebet functionality. They have the fastest payouts with winnings paid in minutes and the industry's best bonuses on every qualifying deposit. They've been trusted for 25 plus years. It's not some fly-by-night company. BetOnline AG has been there. They've done that. In addition, they're trusted by millions. They've got VIP rewards programs and a ton of popular games. BetOnline.ag, that's where I go to make my bets. That's where I suggest you go to, my friends. Please just bet what you can and bet responsibly.
Please, as always, bet what you can, bet responsibly. But for all your sports betting needs, BetOnline.ag is the place to go. This was a week that reminded you just how dangerous and frustrating sports betting could be, because imagine watching that layup go in from Reeves and thinking like, oh, I got this, game's over. And then watching that three sail in and you lose your bet right afterwards. Ooh,
you immediately cut your stream, Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, that had to not feel good. Yikes. So, yeah. But for all your sports betting needs, including pro wrestling, BetOnline.ag is the place to go.
Get your bets in, man. It's time. It's game time. Baseball's just starting up. People are excited. People are outside. I'm trying to go watch some games here very soon. Baseball in Oakland is in turmoil, but everything's great. I'm excited.
Yeah. NBA playoffs will start in about 2-3 weeks. Exciting. We'll be in Vegas.
I'm excited about it.
We'll be in Vegas when some playoff games are going on.
So you know what that means. We're going to be having a great time.
Yeah, I remember what year was that we were in Vegas and that one of those Jimmy games was going on. Miami versus Boston. We were watching it.
I think that was Double or Nothing that one year.
Yeah, it was.
Ooh, I got wasted that day. I'm a chill this year, you guys. I'm older. I'm wiser. I'm slower. Dehydrated. I'm gonna drink a lot of water.
Yes. Let's see. We've got some more Humper chats. We've got more super chats. Again, if you want your chats read on this podcast, super chats are the best way to get that done. Also, humperchat.com/Fightful. See from Tony P. He says SmackDown ended on a high note. However, that isn't stopping fans from questioning Triple H's booking now. This WrestleMania build's been weak. Then you have to question what post WrestleMania to keep interest with the ticket prices and with post Backlash, I believe, Fallout Stories runs out. I don't know. There's definitely some question to be had about booking decisions. This build has not been great in my opinion. And sadly, we'll get into this when we talk about the main event. I think the storyline that has been built the best to me isn't getting a spot that it should. So.
Yeah, it's funny that match placement and things are coming into play. Rollins just did that interview recently where he's like, it doesn't matter about match placement, it matters about this. Punk historically has done a lot to talk about match placement and wanting to be the main event and wanting to have these spots. And Roman's pretty much guaranteed a main event spot. So like, but then it's like the women's story has been told so great. What about title matches? Like, there's all these like different people are saying that triple threat has no stakes. It's just it's so many funny conversations going around this. I don't know how I feel like about people continuously saying that it's been a bad build. Yeah, it has, but like, which ones are great builds? Like, we're gonna focus everything on like the bloodline stuff. Like, it's not historically like the hottest thing going into the shows. It's more importantly about the shows. I think the last couple of years with Bloodline, with The Rock, and all this, it's been overwhelming. So people are like, oh, it's not as great as them. But I'm just like, maybe you guys just enjoy it. I'm starting to fall on the side of like, we can't complain about every single thing. Like, you're gonna fucking love the show when we get to Vegas. They're giving you some of the matches or all of the matches that you want. It's gonna be big, huge moments. Like, maybe just enjoy the ride. Am I on that? Am I stoned today? What is this?
Are you that guy now? You're a let it play out guy?
Guess so, man. Everybody complains about fucking everything. I'm like, you guys are supposed to like this. They're doing this for you. And they're like, no, I don't like this shit. They do the Jey Uso thing. He was the most over guy on the card in the show. And now everybody's like, fuck Jey Uso. I don't want to see this shit. I'm like, well, what do you want to see at this point? I don't know what anybody wants.
Yeah. Sorry, Tony P. He's saying the BL stood for Bloodline. So sorry, I read that incorrectly. He said to reread it, said SmackDown ended on a high note. However, that isn't stopping fans from questioning Triple H's booking now. The WrestleMania build's been weak. Then you have to question what happens post WrestleMania to keep interest with those ticket prices and when the post Bloodline fallout stories run out.
I think Jacob's really cooking.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of way to go with that. I think Cena is going to have some different interesting things to get into post this thing. Cody, like, there's some stuff that they could do. I think they have to focus so many things on WrestleMania and making this the big, most successful show and big all this build that we saw it last year. I think like Cody, when he just kind of like got to cooking things that weren't bloodline related and just be the champion, that it got a lot better. And we just have to get to those moments where it's not so we have to focus every storyline, every moment, everything on getting to WrestleMania.
Yeah, pretty much. We got one more from Tony P. He says, I know some fans will eat it up, but after a while, it won't work. Plus, AEW has begun on a run of good shows and seems to be fixing booking flaws. Then TNA, why did TNA have to TNA? Gail is about to make them pay is all I have to say. Anywho, the easy
Right.
people. Yeah, we did get TNA news. Very unexpected TNA news. Of all the people to think potentially getting let go, I did not think that Gail Kim would be on that list.
Never.
But yeah, there was a list of people that got let go from TNA this week, and unfortunately, Gail Kim is one of them.
Yeah, it's funny because we've talked multiple times on this show just how important Gail Kim is to the business. The past, what it came into before the women's revolution, like she changed the perception on American women's wrestling. Shout out to Awesome Kong. Like she did a lot for this company. But beyond that, what she's currently doing and what she currently represents in the space that she's in, she's a high-powered wrestling woman who has a lot of great ideas. She's a legend in the business. She can still get in and help with the women. Like she just plays such an important role to this. And so when they started announcing departures, never in a million years thought that she would be the one, but also not surprising, concerning. I mean, due to what TNA's been in the last couple, maybe year, I'd say, since they announced the change. Scott D'Amora's been gone. They've been doing all these different things, partnership with WWE. I was like, this feels interesting. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I don't know what it is. I don't know where they're going to lead to, but it feels like preparing for a sale, I think, at this point.
Yeah, it's looking crazy. Yeah, the news is that head of talent relations, Gail Kim, and executive producer and head of creative, Ariel Schwerner, are no longer with the company, which I feel like they've moved around their head of creative a few times. We're now on our third president over there now as well, which is crazy.
So many. And everybody has like completely different visions, I'm sure, you know?
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of people publicly are not happy with this. We saw a lot of wrestlers not happy with Gail being let go. And based on a lot of reports I see, there's a lot of that backstage as well of people
Right.
not being happy that Gail got released. People have had a lot of great things to say about Gail throughout the week. A lot of people that respect her. I saw JR was talking about her on his podcast, and he was saying that another company would be very lucky to have her. And I totally agree. I think that somebody is going to hire her.
Definitely.
It's kind of tough for me to see her going back to WWE, but again, anything is possible. CM Punk is over there.
Ain't
Cody's
the same
back over there.
WWE.
So it's crazy to think like with her relationship with WWE, some of the things she said about WWE over the years, her potentially going back over there, but putting her over there with that division in NXT, I think that they could cook. I mean, using her in a big way on either of the main roster shows now with more titles, more opportunities for the women, I think that that could be great. I mean, just the idea of her being a part of putting together Evolution, that's kind of cool. So that could help. But to me, I think AEW should be trying to sign her. I think they need someone back there vouching for the women. I think that they need someone to help push the women's division over the edge. We've seen a lot of great things with the women for the past year or so, whether that be the Tony stuff, Mercedes, the women getting more main events. But I still think you need someone in that room that's really fighting for the women. And that was one of the things we saw reported a lot out of this, is that she was backstage constantly, getting into it with people about the women. But that's what you'd expect from Gail. Like, based on what we know of her publicly, I'm not surprised by that at all. If you have Gail working there, Gail is going to fight for the women.
Those stories made me want her to be signed even more. I'm like, oh, she's constantly fighting to get people stuff. That sounds great. That's somebody you should have in that position. I think that it gives me more questions about the TNA WWE partnership, I think, Phil, because like, if they immediately sign her to WWE, I'm gonna have even more questions, because like, wouldn't they be like, hey, we're gonna let this person go, or we're dealing with this, and WWE would intercept, or like some people are like, oh, they don't have any control over that, how things work, but like, you would think that it would just be interesting with how the partnership and the back end on it works. But yeah, I think that AEW definitely needs her. I saw some people this week being like, oh, they brought in Madison Rain, they brought in this person. I'm like, no one at the level of Gail Kim and what she did and where she's been and the things that she's done. It's just different than so many other people. She represents something so different, and I think her voice is needed regardless of what anybody's trying to say.
Yeah, I really don't like when people do that. Like, oh, well, you hired this woman. Like, we'll hire another one. Like, cut it out.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, Madison does a very different job. Madison back there as a coach, helping. You can also hire Gail and have Gail help as well. Like, I don't.
They're both there.
Like, I don't know. Well, how well did this work? Like, well, we don't know enough to say what we don't know what Madison does back there, and then B, we don't know what she's allowed to do back there. So
exactly,
you can't then just be like, oh, well, Gail won't be much more of a help. You don't know that. Like, I think that at the very least they should try to bring in more women to be a part of building something with this women's division. I feel like it's something that's been missing. I mean, even since day one, and people wanted to make it Brandy's responsibility, and she said things that led people to believe that. But if you want somebody that has been a part of raising the profile of the Knockouts division, both as a wrestler and executive backstage,
maybe the most important figure in Knockouts history, honestly.
Yeah, I don't see any world where you would not try to hire her if you want your women's division to be taken seriously.
Yeah. It's like, why wouldn't you, is what I'm thinking. Like, Gail Kim, she's a superstar. She's amazing. She's great. And she's still, like, she's going to give years and years and years of knowledge. Like, you can have this person for a long time. I think it just makes the most sense to bring her in, and I hope they do in AEW.
Yes. The reasoning is still kind of fishy. And I know that from the Fightful Select report, they said that the firing came from the TNA president, Carlos Silva. He just cited.
Just got that job.
Exactly. And so, he cited changes to the company in Kim's place. Tommy Dreamer has been reported to be the new head of talent relations, and Delirium is going to be taking over of head of TNA creative. And I mean, just that in itself is just like changes to the company, and that's the direction we're heading into.
I'm thinking about that super chat we got earlier where somebody was like, what do you think about all these ECW guys saying? And then Tommy Dreamer is now going to be the head of talent relations. Delirious is, it's just like the moves are interesting. I don't know. Like, I'm so confused about it. It's been really interesting seeing people's emotions over it. I see a lot of people that were like, when they made the name change from Impact back to TNA, we were locked in. We thought it was going to be this new thing. We was all this, but like as the months went on, they've just like stripped everything that makes that product unique. And I think that it's playing a role. You can feel it. And now they're starting to take away key players and pieces that make it even more unique. So it's going to be an interesting couple of months. I think back to the tweet that I said one time. I was also about to be an interesting time for TNA, and people were so mad at me. And fucking look what happened. You fucking monsters. People were so mad at me, Phil, and I'm just saying it's going to be an interesting time, and then like look what happened.
Yeah, when you say changes, and this is no knock to Delirious or Dreamer, but when you say changes, you make me feel like, okay, we're making a change to improve and to move forward. But this feels like a step backwards, not in the sense that those guys, I know for a fact that those guys are going to be bad at their job. I don't know that. But I mean, in terms of bringing in new energy to the company and bringing in new blood, no, this feels like getting somebody in a seat to fill that seat, but not necessarily having a plan on how to improve the company.
They can do that job. Like, oh, they can do it. We don't need these people. You know what I mean? It feels like that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It doesn't feel like bringing somebody that has a vision for the company type thing. Right. And I think that's been one of the things that put me off with TNA, because you rebranded this thing and there was a lot of excitement around changing the name back to TNA, and then you immediately got rid of Scott D'Amore, and now you're getting rid of Gail Kim and all the rest of the stuff.
The part to me is like, it seems like they're looking for a visionary, but you had one.
Yeah, it's bizarre, bro. Like, I don't get it, man.
What's happening here? I mean, it was TNA situation for so long, and like their television deal and whatever, like the access part and all that stuff, like that's always been weird and always going to play a weird role in the wrestling side of the business. And I think they're starting to clash. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, very, very unfortunate news for what Gail Kim represented to TNA. But I do think she's going to land on her feet. I do think she'll be hired somewhere. I think she would be a big asset to WWE or AEW.
Bag it. If she even, was like, fuck all this and started her own, I think that'd also be great.
Yeah, I think what the Knockouts division and at one point Shimmer represented for wrestling, the idea of Gail or someone else getting together and starting another all-women's indie promotion, I think that could be cool as well. I don't know if she has any interest in doing that, but I support it if she did.
Me too. That's a lot of work. I was just talking shit, but yeah, that would be awesome. I'm just thinking of like, what happened to like Mission Pro? Like, there's like all these spaces that I think still need to exist or we need to expand upon. But honestly, bag somebody in a big company, give it to her. She needs it.
Yes, for sure. I've alluded to it a few times throughout this podcast. I've talked about it for multiple times on this podcast throughout my entire time on social media. Bring back Evolution. Why are we not doing a second Evolution? I thought that was a huge misstep by WWE. And we finally got some progress, it seems, because some rumblings are happening that we are getting a follow-up sometime this year.
Finally. It's like you guys have had for a couple of years some of the best, maybe the best women's roster, the best roster of women that you've ever had, like so many of them. You continuously bring back these legends. You have all these NXT. There's just so many great women's wrestlers currently in your company that it doesn't make sense that you haven't done an Evolution. We should be on like Evolution 4 by now. Like they should just be a yearly thing. It doesn't make sense that it didn't just become a part of the show. It's also a great time, though. I think they have some great moments, like you said. We could potentially have Saraya Page doing a thing. AJ Lee, they've been talking a lot about AJ Lee recently. She could play a role in this. People are saying they want this to be a big moment for Nikki Bella. The new generation can have all these great moments. I think this is honestly perfect timing. They should have been continuously doing it, but I'm happy that it's back.
Yeah, I think you're right in terms of the timing. Now they have 5 belts on the main roster that they could go with. You've got the mid card belts now. You have the tag. Yeah, you've got the tag belts, and then you have the 2 world titles. And then Nikki just came back in the Rumble. There's a chance you could potentially do something with Nikki there. Nikki, of course, main evented the first Evolution with Ronda Rousey. You could use her in a big way here. You could bring Brie back, do a tag match with them, maybe. I think the big story here, and one of the people that has been advocating for the longest for them to bring Evolution back, is Becky Lynch. And as soon as it was announced, I was like, I wonder if that was one of those bargaining chips. Like, yeah, I'll come back, I'll resign, but I want this and this and this. I'd be curious if that was part of those talks. If so, that would be great. And I mean, it absolutely should be. But of course, Becky and Charlotte had their acclaimed last woman standing match. Should have been the main event of that show, in my opinion. Was the best match on that show by far. I think it's their best match together. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Charlotte has been teasing Becky stuff since she's been back. I think there's a very good chance we could see Charlotte versus Becky on that card.
They're going to right that wrong, you think, and put them in the actual main event this time?
Yes. I think there's a very good chance we could see that.
Right.
But yeah, the report initially came from Cassidy Haynes of BodySlam.net. He reported that big cast. He reported that WWE is looking to hold another Evolution on July 5th from the Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort in Connecticut. And then we also got the report from WrestleVotes earlier this week that we should expect an announcement soon, possibly before WrestleMania.
That's a good date, too. Summer, the day after 4th of July. That's going to be a hot show, no pun intended.
Yeah, and I think if that report from Body Slam is correct, Mohegan Sun is a good venue. We've seen AEW run that venue.
Yep. Good energy in there.
Yeah, I think that could work. July 4th weekend.
That could be pretty cool. Big.
So, of course, nothing is set in stone. That's just a report. There are 2 months, I believe, in between WWE pay-per-views where there aren't anything announced yet. So it could end up in June or July. Feels like it's going to end up sometime in that period. But very excited about this news. Long overdue. 7 years in the making. The first Evolution was in 2018.
It's been 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to think about that time period and everything that was happening. The first Women's Rumble was also in 2018. They had the second Mae Young Classic going on. And so that time period, I feel like that was kind of like the peak of the women's revolution. That also led to the first women's main event in 2019. So around that time period, like this was like the hottest women's wrestling in WWE had been for that time period. And then you had a lot of other stuff with MMA and, female athletes getting a lot more coverage. And currently you could see kind of the same thing. Like you said, we are in a period where NXT's women's division is extremely hot. For some people, it's the best aspect of that show. That's very similar to that time period in 2018. Also, what women's sports are and how WNBA is, hot. Women's basketball is hotter than it's ever been. You have the coverage around women and athletes. It's now,
coming off the Olympics, it was super hot for a lot of women and women in the Olympics. Like, it's a good time again.
Yeah, it just feels like kind of like this is the right time to reward the women. And like you said, it should have happened a long time ago, but good that they're trying to do something here. If this does come to fruition, there's so much you can do with this. Also having a partnership with TNA, you could potentially use some of the knockouts here.
With what they're doing at WrestleMania and the triple threat match, they could do like a singles Rhea and Bianca at Evolution.
Yeah, I mean, you could be ready to do Bianca versus Jade by that show.
Also,
there's a lot of stuff you could do by then. I do think, they've been doing the 5-match cards. I think you got to do more than 5 matches for Evolution.
Yeah, no, this can't be. Cause I mean, that would, like you said, there's 5 championships. That'd just be all title matches. So that could be a thing, but I think you should expand, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Trish in the Rumble. We could potentially see Trish on this card as well. There's a lot they could do here. There's a ton of potential. Very excited. I, as somebody that has been demanding that this show comes back, I feel like I have to put my money where my mouth is and try to go see it. Because I mean, I said the same thing when Mickey put on her show for NWA, and I was like, well, I want to go support, because I've been saying give the women their shows, and when the Knockouts have done their all women pay-per-views, same thing. I've been trying to support, and so I do definitely feel like if this is announced, I'm probably gonna go.
If they don't announce it, it's one of the. It's like every time they bring up Evolution, is the same as when they bring up Taboo Tuesday. I'm like, how do they not have a fucking user voted on show when we all have phones in our hand? Like, they could be putting the things up. Like, I'm like, it confused about it. And Evolution's like that every time. I'm like, how is Evolution not the most regular thing that they do on their show? It's confusing to me. But they're gonna make it a thing. We gotta force them to do this. And like Phil said, gotta show up to it too. Gotta be loud.
That is
noise. Gotta make it a big. You have to make it a big show.
That is definitely a thing. All of us that have been demanding this show comes back, you have to put your money where your mouth is. Go and support this show. Go support the women. There's no excuse to really. I mean, we don't know what the pricing will be, but I just feel like there's no excuse to not support the women at this point. And I talked about earlier about how passionate women's wrestling fans are. I think the women's fans are going to pull up. They're going to have events.
Definitely.
They're gonna show up for the women. Hopefully, WWE puts on a show worthy of this name. Again, should be an annual tradition. Hopefully, this show is good enough so that it becomes an annual tradition.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited for the women. I'm excited for wrestling. Honestly, this is needed.
Absolutely. But yeah, like that idea of Saraya being able to take part in it this year, that would be a great moment for her, because she had to miss it the first time. There's other wrestlers that you can make a part of this that I think would make it a cool moment. I'm trying to remember. Did Bianca have a match on the first Evolution? I don't think she did.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think she did. And so, yeah, same thing. This would give her a chance to wrestle on this show.
Maybe do that Bailey and Roxanne match. Hold off on that till then. Like, this could be a really great card, honestly.
I mean, you could do something with this Naomi and Bianca Jade stuff. Maybe triple threat there. Maybe you could Maybe you could do Bianca Jade. There's something you could do with this. Man, but speaking of, man, shout out to Naomi, man. She has been killing this, man. Like, the promo she cut last night was so good. I think, like, the gear and all of the thought that she's put into this turn, it's been really, really great for her. And we've seen her talk more than once about wanting to have a meaningful storyline, wanting to be a part of something like this. And so very, very happy for her, man. And boy, the way we talked about how women's wrestling fans love Saraya, man, people love Naomi, man.
They love them some Naomi. Like, as we're talking about this show, like, as somebody who's earned her way onto the card, definitely Naomi. She has to be on this Evolution card. She has to have a big match, big story. Like, she's been destroying every moment that she's had a part of this Jade feud. The promos have been even better. She's been just shoving things down people's mouths that they thought that they knew about her. Like, she's just changed her whole perception. I love what she's doing right now. They're still not going to do the Mania match, though, right?
I don't know. I think that they should. I think that Naomi deserves the moment, even if she goes in and loses. I kind of feel like it's going to be a TV match, though.
Right.
Just something about it. My gut feeling is it's going to be a TV match, and it's going to be like a go-home show ahead of WrestleMania.
Yeah, because, like, I don't know how deep they're going to get with this cards this year, but I don't feel like that match is going to make the WrestleMania card.
It should. But
totally should. Especially with the story, but I don't think it.
I don't know that I believe that it would. Because you got to assume they got to do something with the tag titles on this card, right? And where the hell is Alexa?
Where is Alexa?
Alexa hasn't been seen since Elimination Chamber. It seemed like they were building toward Alexa versus Liv. So
them pops the stare downs, Liv, Alexa's entrance got. I'm like, wait, what's happening? They were going insane for her.
Yes. What are we doing? Why are we not capitalizing on that at all? I don't get it.
Hella confused. I thought they had something really set up with her and Liv, but
yeah. I don't know. I assume that's going to be the tag match at WrestleMania until I see otherwise. It seems like it's probably going to be Liv and a partner versus, Liv and Raquel versus Alexa and a partner.
Mm-hmm. Which will be a good match too for them. I just want if those championships get on. That'll be the most important part.
They got to do something with those mid-card belts as well. Like, at least put Chelsea in like a multi-woman match or something. Do something with that belt, because I don't feel like the Intercontinental title will be on the show, but at least get the U.S. title on there, I would hope. They haven't really done much with Lyra as champion either. I think her matches, when they do give her the spots on Raw, are good, but they haven't really given her any interesting feuds. Like, at least Chelsea had the Mia feud. So that was something to build around. They haven't really done anything like that with Lyra yet.
No, it's pretty unfortunate. I hope that they do give one of them the opportunity to a pre-show match or something. At least they have to have some representation for those championships and add some legacy onto them.
Yeah. But again, super excited for Evolution. Hopefully, that comes up. That is announced. Hopefully.
It's real.
Hopefully it's real. Maybe they're going to announce it on Stephanie's Places.
Stephanie's Places. I still have the shit. I don't know what the intro is, but I think it's like dun, 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 dun. She just like Stephanie's Places. I'll see you later, Hunter. Oh no, that's the intro. The intro is it's her waking up in her bed. She gets up, she puts on the pajamas. She goes and brushes her teeth. She gets ready. She makes coffee. He comes in. He's like, "Hey, babe, I'm off to see the thing." Blah blah blah. And she's like, "I see it." And then the end is her standing out in front of her house with her robe on and her coffee. And she's like, "See you later, Hunter." And they're like, "Stephanie's Places."
She gets out of bed with her pants, pajamas with like SM on it.
I was just thinking, what song was I doing? That's the WWE, the Thin Now and Forever song. I think, dun, 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 Thin Now Forever.
She's like in the kitchen, like getting coffee, and he comes in and kisses her on the cheek, like, "Oh, thanks, Paul. See you later, Hunter." And she just like stands up outside, like waving Stephanie's Places.
Right over the top of her, Stephanie's Places. I haven't seen the show, so I don't know if that's the real intro, but I'm gonna act like that's the real.
I saw the thumbnail for it. I opened Disney Plus the other day to watch Daredevil, and I saw the thumbnail, and I said, "Nope, not watching that."
They try to we know this guy likes wrestling. Let's see if he likes Stephanie's Places.
No. I've seen some of the clips of this Punk stuff, and I was like, I don't think this is for me.
So that clip of Punk and Triple H hugging or whatever backstage, and he's like, "Thanks for having me. Are we happy to have you?" Or whatever they say.
We're so happy you're back. Like,
oh
what?
my God, you guys, what happened here?
Whew.
I don't know what happened here, Phil. I think back to that fucking Colt Cabana podcast all the time, and I'm like, things have really changed, man.
Things have definitely changed. Speaking of which, we have some super chats, Humper chats to get into, and this is a very relevant super chat for what we were just talking about.
Hey, what's over there? It says Punk being in AEW is feeling more and more like a fever dream. 1,000%.
Yeah,
I don't. They keep that clip has came up this last couple of days, Phil. We keep getting it in every single group chat of Punk being like, "Go be the fourth main event of the buy one get one free show" or whatever, and people are just like so attached to it now.
Yeah, I've seen it. People, but I mean, we knew that when he went over there, you're gonna have to take. You're gonna eat. You're gonna have to eat a little shit over that now because you know you was talking a lot before you went back. So,
and it ain't over. He still got some more. They still got some more bits to get on him. Yeah, but it feels like that didn't exist. That didn't happen. Like, and WWE's really trying to act like it didn't happen. They're just like, oh yeah, he left in 2014, and he's like blaming it on himself now. I'm like, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah. I still personally enjoy his AEW run better.
Yes.
But I don't know. It could be because I was there for a lot of it.
It was so good.
What a time.
Just like the matches too. I guess there was more frequently and he was doing different things. I don't know.
Bro. Being in that crowd when he debuted on Rampage, it's just different, bro. Just different.
I need to watch that again. That was insane. That was crazy.
Come on, man. Chicago United Center, like, nah, it's different vibes, bro. Sorry.
Thanks, hey, what's over there? You're right, though. Veritas VQ, I said it wrong, I think, earlier. Humor me for a bit. If you were wrestlers, which high spot would you rather take? Mankind's first Hell in a Cell fall or Darby Allin's glass spot? Great question.
Damn, I feel like it's neither, bro.
I think the Mick Foley bump feels safer because, like, there's
Does
table. Yeah, because Darby lands on the ground essentially. Like the glass breaks his fall, but Mick Foley's like, there's something to break his fall.
Didn't he? Isn't that where he knocked his tooth out?
Yeah, he got fucked up. No, he did that on the one through the cage, I think.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it was
the first initial bump. I think he just fucked up his shoulder really bad. So I think no, because Darby seemed not as fucked up as Mick Foley. So I think I'd take the Darby bump. Yeah, the Darby bump.
Yeah. I guess the Mankind bump, but really it's neither. It's really neither.
Don't pitch me either one of those, honestly.
I'm good on both.
Yeah, the Darby bump, because I think no, I hate heights though. They're both really high.
That's both of them. That's why I keep saying like, nah, neither one of these is nah.
I think Mick Foley's first table bump, I'd take that one. The through the cage one, absolutely not. That shit is fucking violent. He dies. That choke slam.
No way. Absolutely not.
It smacks him in the face. It's horrific, honestly. We all watch it and we're like, this is great, but this man is being destroyed.
You're going backwards through this cage all the way down to the ring. You cannot brace yourself. You cannot see what's happening. No way. Nope.
It's like falling from 3 stories just onto your. And they say that's when the WWF ring was so hard. So like he died.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Great question though. Lyndon Irons III says, congrats to Stanford Phil for getting to headline night 1 of BOGO Mania. Also, Chuck told y'all about crowning the Clutch Lakers after 2 good weeks.
See, man. Everybody got mad at Chuck again. He's been telling y'all for 2 years in a row. Y'all don't want to listen. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be night 1. This Roman, dog. This about to be night 2.
Oh, yeah.
They're not putting Roman on night 1? What do you think this is?
Roman ain't showing up to night 1 of no damn WrestleMania. What's going on here?
That was a last year thing. He played his role last year. You think I'm doing night 1 2 years in a row? Like, no way, buddy.
Nah, we're not playing no roles this time, dog. This is mine. I'm gonna get this real main event, and we're gonna get up out of here.
Yeah.
How's your where's your Cena standings for this week?
After his promo this week, yeah, it was a little rough, man. I was sitting watching it like, yeah, this is a little boring. But I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. He's doing the heel turn and trying to tell us this isn't for you guys, but still giving people things that are specifically for them.
This isn't for you. Here's a new shirt for everywhere we go. This isn't for you. Here's a new. I'm like,
this isn't for you, but I'm gonna point you out in the crowd and give you a special moment that you'll never forget. But I'm framing it in a way where I'm running you down, but you're never gonna forget this because I'm John Cena.
This isn't for you. I'm gonna take the WWE Championship to all these places and do all these things that you guys are gonna like a lot. You're gonna hate it.
Yeah, it feels a bit rushed. I think that's what it is.
I see a lot of people being like, "Oh yeah, they didn't really have a story to this. This wasn't the plan the whole time," because like it seems like they're kind of grasping for straws here.
Yeah.
So you think that's going to be the night one main event then? Cody and Cena.
I do. That I do.
And where do you think Jay and Gunther said? I still think they're opening the whole show.
I think they're opening night one probably.
Mm-hmm.
Or opening night two.
Yeah. Damn.
Ooh, so
I would think the first night because you start with that huge moment, you know.
yeah, starting the night with that big pop of Jay and like the crowd doing his entrance with him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you end with what you think is Cena getting booed, but he's definitely not going to get booed.
He might.
Oh yeah, because I'm kind of with you with how the crowd like knows to play along. Essentially, like we don't really hate this fool. It's like we are helping. It's like we're watching a movie and he's the bad guy. Fuck this guy, but we love John Cena. You can't get me to hate him because like the kid said that was in the crowd. He's like, I didn't really know what was going on, but I love John Cena. I don't care about that shit.
Yes. Got 2 from Tenruza.
Tenruza says people go to All In instead of Mania. Better prices, better action. Also, you guys go to Forbidden Door London. Karma coming to the Fed would it be a glorious day? They still got a fistful of cash.
Yeah.
Nick Khan does at least.
Yeah.
Tenruz also says, I miss Eddie Kingston, corporate man main eventing night one of the multi-night extravaganza. Hilarious. Cult of personality, such a hollow song now. Damn. I guess we should get into it, Phil, because everybody's
Well, wait a minute, buddy. Don't you have a punk logo as your picture here? Hold
on a second.
Tenruz.
Me.
Wait, what are you doing? You're gonna have to do the edit. You're gonna have to change the lightning bolt coming out of his fist to a bunch of dollars. And yeah.
Damn, Phil might be on something.
Hey, man,
that should be the logo.
That should be the shirt. Like it's a bunch of money coming out of the fist.
Brilliant. It's got to be heel punk though. It might be kind of funny as face punk though too, because he could sell it. But people would think he's a hypocrite. But people already think he's a hypocrite.
Yeah, it's too late. Can't do it. Can't do it. Too late. But yeah, we got the announcement. It seems like our 2 main events for WrestleMania are set. Nobody in the world thought that John Cena was not main eventing. So if you thought that, you were absolutely nuts. John Cena, Cody Rhodes are going to main event which one of these nights. I'm not sure which one yet. I am going to assume it's night 1. But we got the reveal last night via SmackDown contract signing segment, because that's the way you want to find out you're main eventing a show.
Way to do it.
That we've got our second main event set. This was divisive with some people. Some people were excited about it. But it's wrestling, so what do you expect? Nothing's going to be universally liked.
Nope.
The segment in itself was it was a mixed bag for me. It kind of confirmed what I've been saying and why I don't want this to be a triple threat. Because the issue I have with this is that you have 2 compelling stories for Roman with Rollins and Punk separately, and you're trying to mush them together and tell them in one fell swoop. And I think by doing that, you're not telling either of them well enough to get people interested.
Right.
I think you're doing a bit of a disservice to both of these storylines by trying to rush them into one big build. And that was very much shown here in this segment, where the exchange between Roman and Rollins had some meat to it, but it felt like you could have really pushed this and got more into the stuff for the last 2 years and made this something special. Mm-hmm. And then the Roman and Cody stuff is extremely Roman and the Roman and Punk stuff is extremely surface level. They didn't get into any of the stuff we want them to get into. None of the stuff from the Colt Cabana podcast, like you said. None of the stuff like him throwing shots at him while he was away. There was so much stuff that when you put those 2 guys in a ring together, there's so much history there, and they have not even scratched the surface yet, and it doesn't feel like they're going to.
They're kind of rushing through it is what it feels like. Yeah, I kind of feel exactly how you are. Like, if they did a singles match, we'd get more time to get in the weeds, we get more time to break it down. But now it's just like they're trying to tell the story with Paul Heyman and things, and they're trying to add elements, but nothing's really like deep diving into it. So it just feels like, okay, these three guys are gonna fight because of these moments, but there's so many more deeper reasons why these guys are gonna fight.
Yes. And I mean, there are things I liked about it, but I mean, straight away, going from the beatdown stuff with Drew celebrating after his win and going to that door, and Damian Priest is there, and then Damian Priest starts beating him down, beats him down over that car, puts him through the windshield, and he's like, "You got any more jokes?" That's what I thought. Rest in peace, asshole.
Good bit, good shit, real glass.
And then having the security guards with Punk with this big grin on his face walking up, and he stops and looks, and he's like, It keeps going. Very funny stuff. I popped really hard at that. I think just like the undertones of that in itself are very funny. Didn't have to say a word. Very funny stuff. But yeah, starting this segment with the Roman and Rollins stuff, and Rollins is saying, "Man, why you look so upset? This is a happy time. We did some big things in this arena. We came to this arena in a helicopter. Like, we did it. We set out to change this industry, and we did that." And then Roman in Roman fashion stopped him right there and was like, "What do you mean we? Why do you keep saying we? I did this. I changed this industry for the better. I made this more profitable. I made this company more marketable. I'm the guy. You are not the guy. Why do you keep saying we? We're not we. We died a long time ago."
I mean, that's how WWE thinks about it. That's the funniest part about it. And that's how a lot of wrestling fans think about it too. See, I'm with you. Like, I feel like if they would have really got into the Roman and Rollins, like, stuff that's really pulling this feud together, it would have felt like such a bigger match. Like, it still feels like a big match, and there's a lot of people that I see their complaint is there's no stakes in this match. Why are they putting this match as the main event when it doesn't have any stakes? And I think that goes along with what you're saying. They haven't given us any reason to think that there's extra importance on this match, you know?
Yes. So we get the stuff between them. They're going back and forth, and after Roman does his, it's me, it's, motherfuck the big three, it's just big me, bomb. Rollins gets back into his bag of, "Nah, man, this is your fault. The whole problem here is it's always you. You're not listening to me. The real problem that's staring us in the face is CM Punk. You could have cut the head off of this snake, and you didn't. You had a chance to do it at War Games, but you shook his hand. Then I was going to do it in the cage, and you came in and stopped me. This is your fault." And then in the midst of that, of course, we get Cult of Personality. Punk strolls down there. He's all excited about signing his contract, and everybody's looking around like, this fucking guy. Except Paul Heyman, who's just like, I kind of like him. What's the problem? So he gets the contract. I love the bit of him going through the contract, flipping through it, because that is in Punk's character, and it fits with everything we know about him as a person, leaving this company and all the things he said about contracts and how wrestlers make their money. So of course he would be the one going through the contract. And so Roman's like, "What do you need, a highlighter? Just sign it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you would just sign it because you trust this company." He is looking at it like, "No, what's in here? Let me look through this before I sign it." And Paul stops and goes, "I know what you're looking for. It's in there. CM Punk, you are going to be a WrestleMania main event." And Punk starts hitting the shoot tears on us, and we're getting the moment. This is the CM Punk, this is your life moment. And I was just like, I get what you guys are going for, but this isn't how I would have liked to see him get his main event.
Nope. I'm sure this isn't how he probably wanted to get to the main event, but that's how things happen.
But I do like the story that they're telling here of he got one over on them. He came out there, and Heyman's like, he wants a favor from me, so let me use my power to get these guys into the main event, because I would do that for Roman anyway. Let me get my guy what he wants is WrestleMania main event, and he'll back down off of his favor. So he goes, oh, great. He sits there and signs it. He accepts his acknowledgement. And while he was saying all of that, and, you know, he kissed him on the forehead and leaned up next to him, I'm thinking, like, the last time this guy was at WrestleMania 10 years ago, that match was the best match on the card. And it should have been the main event. He should have, and even if you don't want to say Taker versus Punk should have main evented, he was robbed of his main event because he should have walked into WrestleMania as champion. They shouldn't have put the belt back on Rock.
No.
That was his year to main event. So having Heyman be the guy that tells him, that is a cool moment because Heyman was still his manager and everything during the Taker Punk match at WrestleMania.
Right.
But I love this that he basically got a fast one over them because they're looking at it like, hey, look, we're giving you what you want. You want this WrestleMania main event, right? That's the favor. So he sits there and signs and he goes, yeah, by the way, that's not the favor. You still owe me one.
So that means he's getting a title match.
I don't know. But that's why this is interesting because I did not think about this, and this could be just me fantasy booking this. If you're doing night one main event and it's Cena versus Cody, what if he negotiates his way into that match and wins the belt? And the second night is for the belt.
You think they'll go that fast?
I don't, but just the idea of that is very interesting. But that's the favor, getting him in that match and getting the belt second night. 3-way for the title. Wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, that's kind of a good idea.
But I doubt that that's going to be what it is. But I do think this is leading to him and Heyman going on a run again together because Roman doesn't need Heyman anymore. He's not a heel anymore, so he doesn't need a heel manager. I like the idea of Punk coming out of this with Heyman representing him, and that's how he gets his title shot somewhere down the line.
Yeah, the Punk and Heyman getting back together thing's a really good aspect of this. The tears thing, I was like, again, crazy CM Punk moments that I can't believe are happening with what was known and what is now known. It's just, we're at a crazy ass place in wrestling.
Yeah, him being back over there in WWE, tearing up about being on a WWE show after a few years prior, he said that place made him sick. Don't quite hit like you guys wanted to.
Right.
But as a fan of this guy, and like I said, the fact that he's sitting there with Paulie and Paulie's saying he's going to main event, and it's Roman of all people that he's like, thank you for all of this, and he still points at the sign at him. That's one of those things, like, you can't write that for him. Like, what world are we in? And like what Vegas represents for him, that's where he cut the pipe bomb. That's where he won the AEW title for the first time, Double or Nothing. Now he's going to get his first main event in Las Vegas. That's pretty cool. I wish it would have happened a different way. I'll just outright say it. This guy should have won a Rumble. Sorry, guys. He should have won a Rumble. I'm sorry. Every time I think about it, he should have just won a Rumble, man.
Yeah. It every single day that goes by and every week that goes by and the Jey Uso stuff, I'm like, I understand, but you could have got back to him at WrestleMania and not have given him that, but
yeah,
I see.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, the segment was what it was. I think, like, just the aspects of it between him and Punk and everything. I think that there's stuff here that I like, but also,
I just keep thinking of all the old stuff, Punk stuff, the stuff that he said, and I'm like, you're doing all this stuff, so
bits of it felt a bit fugazi, like
But that's the point.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. I like the idea of him sitting and buying in and tearing up and getting them to buy in. Like, see, he's happy. Like, see, no more of this holding this favor over our head. He's signing it. Look, he's signing it. And then he's like, yep, nope. Sorry, big dog. That ain't the favor.
He made people mad earlier this week with his line about working with kids or whatever. People were upset about that. But why?
I mean, he just referenced it. He's going to keep referencing it, guys. I don't know.
This guy's still talking about this. Yes, man, it's wrestling. Who cares?
Exactly. It's wrestling. Some people think it's funny. I personally don't care either way. It's whatever.
They're like, who's this for? It's for somebody, you guys.
I mean, their audience doesn't really react when he does it, but
Yeah.
when he does it and he sits there with a little grin on his face when he does it, it's for you that's mad.
Exactly.
That's it.
Can't get that part though.
Yeah, it's for you. It's for him to sit and chuckle at you getting mad at this deal. Because who cares?
Yep.
But yeah, this got a lot of people in their feelings because we officially have the 2 main events. I would assume people were not happy about the idea that the Royal Rumble match now means nothing because neither Royal Rumble winner is main eventing the show. And I am not shocked by that because I tried to tell you that at the time. It's crazy that I believe that both of the Elimination Chamber winners are much more interesting and they've been booked better. I think that sucks. I think it sucks that Bianca, Io, and Rhea has had the best build of this entire run up to WrestleMania, and they're not going to get that main event spot. I think that they deserve it. And I think every time we hear people do the whole, oh, it has to be a story worthy of main eventing, that story is worthy of main eventing, in my opinion.
Yeah, they always move the goalposts every time because, like, I'm like, I thought this was it. Like, this is everything you want. This has all the elements and the drama, and it's going to be an amazing match in this women's triple threat. Well, why wouldn't they get it then?
Yeah. And then, of course, the Jay discourse. I don't think people understood what I meant when he won, and I was saying that the Roman and Rollins and Punk stuff before he won was much more interesting than his win, and they put so much emphasis on that, and that felt like the main storyline coming out of this. And people were like, "Yeah, but you like Rollins and Punk. That's why you're saying that." I'm like, "No, that's not why I'm saying that. I think they're treating that like it's a main storyline."
Right.
Jay's win never felt like a main storyline.
Not for 1 second.
And that has become more and more apparent as the weeks have gone on. It just feels like, yeah, this is a great moment for him. It's a nice full circle moment for him after everything he did in the Bloodline, him being a right-hand man, him stepping up to the big stage and having the matches with Roman. But none of this has felt like a main storyline.
It doesn't even feel like they're presenting Jey Uso on the weekly television as the main storyline. You know what I mean? Like the Raws, they'll just have him like randomly on Raw against in random matches. Like he's not being presented as like he's about to main event this big show.
No, they're giving him the stuff on the show that's repetitive. He does something, Gunther comes in there and beats him down. The slip thing this week I thought was cheesy. I didn't like it. I get what they're trying to do. You're trying to take an accident, turn it into storyline, but I didn't think it worked. I think it's one of those things where your fans are smarter than that and it just doesn't work. But
that's my favorite kind of bit on it is like we keep getting back to this. Oh, but they don't listen to the internet friends. The IWC, blah, blah, blah. Well, why are they creating storylines around discourse on the IWC if they don't care about it then?
Bro, John Cena has spent 2 weeks talking to the internet.
Dog, that's all he's doing is talking to them. The IWC doesn't matter. Well, why do they keep talking to them then?
Yeah. But yeah, the Jay stuff doesn't feel like a main storyline. I don't think that Gunther has been presented that well in this either. The fact that Cody has been on both shows tells you how they feel about that belt. It tells you that they are like, nope, Cody is the main champion. And this storyline with Cena is the main storyline. All the rest of this around it is whatever. Like we're really banking on you wanting to come to WrestleMania to see Cody versus Cena. And yeah, and as I've been saying for weeks, there's no way Roman was not going to main event WrestleMania, guys. This is 6 years in a row. He's already broken a Hogan record. The Hogan record was 8. Broke that last year, was 9. This will be his 10th WrestleMania main event. 6 in a row. There was no way he wasn't main eventing, guys. And especially when I saw Jay win the Rumble, I was like, guys, Roman is main eventing the show.
Yes.
I hope you guys are getting ready.
I didn't think for a second that Roman was not going to be the main event of the show because they've told you that he's the guy. Every time they present him on TV, they tell you again, this is our guy. This guy's going to main event WrestleMania.
And to that point of me knowing all along that Roman was going to main event, I understand how people feel disappointed about this because this Roman return hasn't been great. I think there's been bits of it that are good, but I don't think that he's come across more interesting in the past year. I think it's more of him feeling like a part-timer. He comes back, they do the big return, then he goes away for a few weeks or a few months, and then we're doing a return again. And for him to not be around as much this year, and he just still gets the main event anyway, and you have 2 Royal Rumble winners, that sucks. That sucks.
I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like that it's happening. I don't think it should happen. He's earned a lot of stuff. He's earned a good position, but they should use WrestleMania as you worked hard, you did this. That was the point that they were complaining about when Goldberg would come back or when they would do stuff like that, or these part-time guys would come, more part-time than Roman even is, would come and they'd get these big positions. Well, you haven't been there the whole year. You haven't been grinding. You haven't been doing this thing. And Roman has definitely worked. He's definitely done his thing, but he's been so sparsely featured on the show that you would think they would give it to somebody that has been there on the grind every week, blah, blah, blah. It's been confusing about the Royal Rumble spot for so long because it's such an easy way to get someone over, such an easy way to emphasize on a stipulation. But then they do stuff like that just makes you forget about it. By the time you get to WrestleMania, it doesn't matter because the real main events are the other people.
Yes. And I mean, of course, we both said it's Roman. He'll probably be night 2. Even if he's night 1, I still hate the idea that the big storyline going into WrestleMania last year was getting this guy off of the throne so that other people can move in. And Cody beat this guy, and he's still going to main event. Without a title, without winning the Royal Rumble, without winning Elimination Chamber, he's still going to main event.
Just because he's the biggest star.
Just because he's Roman. And I don't like that. And I mean, even if they had done a great job to build this triple threat or one of these matches separately, fine. But I don't think that they've done a great build for this match. I don't think they've done anything to really tell us this justifies it being the main event other than, hey, these are 3 big stars.
And I still stand behind the notion that the world title should be the main event. So I think it should be Cena and Cody, but I don't expect it to be Cena and Cody.
Yeah, I mean, I think because it's a world title match, that's the only way I could see it main eventing night 2. But still, just the optic of Roman and Rollins and Punk getting the night 1 main event when you're jumping over the 2 Royal Rumble winners and, Elimination Chamber to just give them the match when those 3 guys lost both of those matches is not a great sign.
The final 4 of the match gets the match anyways.
Yeah. And they weren't even the final 4 in the Rumble. Didn't they get eliminated before the final 4?
Who was? Oh yeah, they all eliminate each other.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't like it. But
not surprised.
Not surprised at all because it's Roman. I knew Roman was main eventing. There was no point at all where I thought, especially when they started teasing this triple threat, I was like, oh yeah, that's main eventing.
And the way that he talks still, the way that he was talking during the promo last night is this is still all mine. I don't know why y'all are acting like y'all helped with this.
This is the other thing that I hate currently. We're supposed to buy into this big baby face turn for him and everything, and he's still talking the exact same way. I mean, I know he comes out and gives it up to the crowd like, hey, I'm happy to be here. Hey, cool, you guys are singing for me. I love you. Acknowledge me, blah, blah, blah. But then when he cuts his promos, it's the same character.
He's still like, it's me. I did this. Nobody helped me. I was on top for a long time, and I'm going to continue to be on top because of me.
Yeah. Not thrilled with how we got here, but it's Punk. It's Las Vegas.
Rollins also.
Get your main event, dog. Rollins getting 2 main events in a row. Can't be too mad with that, but I hate how we got here. I do think the women got shafted, totally. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, especially when they if you earn it, you should be rewarded for it, but I'm not surprised also with that. And they're going to kill it. It's not going to matter. I think their match will probably be better than both of those main events, so the women's match, I'd assume.
Yeah, I think the women's match is going to be very good. I would bet both of the women's title matches are going to be good, in spite of the fact that I don't think that the build for Charlotte versus Tiffy has been great.
No. But Charlotte shows up when it's WrestleMania time.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. So I think the match itself is going to be good. But yeah. Not a fan with how we got here. I saw somebody say this because, well, I'm sure this is why I've been careful with what I want to say about Roman and not liking how we got here, because, you know, Roman fans are Roman fans. You can't say nothing. I saw someone say, "What's wrong with the promo style?" There isn't anything wrong with the promo style. Like, him cutting the promos, it still hits because it's Roman and he's putting sauce on it. But I don't think anything about this character has evolved that much in the past year. That's what I'm saying. It's not that what he said last night was bad. It's that, all right, all of this was about him getting the Ulafala back and, you know, having to deal with the fact that nobody trusts him anymore, and he had to deal with the consequences of everything that happened after he was a tribal chief. What are the real consequences here? He's still main eventing WrestleMania. Exactly. He got the Ulafala back. He still has a divider. Yep. The character hasn't changed that much. That's all.
All those guys helped him, and Rollins keeps saying this. He's like, that guy, he doesn't care about none of y'all. All he cares about is himself. And then he says, and then Roman shows that that's what he's right. He's like, oh yeah, I actually only care about myself. This is all about me.
Yeah.
And it's like, but this is supposed to be a babyface. You're supposed to be like, no, it took the family, it took the fans, it took everybody to get me into this. And he's still like, no, it's still just the one.
Yeah. And then when you even pair it with Jey Uso's trajectory, and he's never been like, hey, great for Jey. Like, I'm proud of him. Like, he said that before that he's proud when he's Intercontinental Champion, but Jay's getting his moment, and you're still the shadow looming over it. You're still main eventing, and he's still over there.
Like, Jay's not going to main event, and a big part of the reason is because you're going to main event. With no championship.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's so funny about this, bro. He won the Rumble, you lost, and you're still main eventing.
Still the real actual tribal chief, the OTC, as they say.
That part of it, I'm not.
And if The Rock shows up next year, he's gonna get another one. Like, it's not over.
I definitely think that they're trying to tee up this Roman Rock match still. I think that we're still heading in that direction. We're looking at 7 main events in a row, guys. I definitely think that's happening.
Yep. The way that Rock did the New Orleans WrestleMania announcement, I'm like, okay.
Yes, bro.
That's exactly what's going on here.
The way that he has not said a word about Roman in weeks, the way that he could have easily put a plan in place to try to help Roman get the Ulafala back and win the Royal Rumble. No, he's over that. I'm off that. You failed. I gave you the advantage on night 2 of WrestleMania by pinning Cody Rhodes. You got the bloodline match and you lost. Now I'm off that. I'm over here now. I don't trust that guy no more.
Also nowhere to be found though still, The Rock. It's going to be interesting going into these next couple of weeks because Cena is done, right? Does he have any more dates coming into this?
I think he does. Doesn't he have like because they promote all of their talking segments now. Doesn't he have one coming up next week?
Does he?
I think so.
But then Cena, Roman's probably going to be out. Probably not for all of the shows coming up to WrestleMania. Like, how are they going to continue selling this? Because we got a couple more weeks going into this.
I feel like you've got to get the big Roman Punk promo at some point. Mm-hmm. Other than that, how else are you going to really get people hyped for this match? You got to get to that promo in the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that's close to like the go home show. Maybe that's what they're saving it for.
Yeah, that could be the go home promo. Give these guys 25 minutes or something and let them cook.
Yeah.
But again, should be fun. The show is going to be a crazy atmosphere. Punk actually getting a main event. There's a lot of good things in this.
Yeah. I just think it's unfortunate how we got here. I think it sucks that every time WWE gives people what they want and they're like, oh, you really like this guy? Here, we're listening to you. Here, it always feels like it's like, well, here, I'm giving it to you, but I'm still going to do what I want to do. And we are giving you Jay as a Royal Rumble winner. You guys like Jay, but Roman is still main eventing this show, guys. Roman is still our guy. Even the Cody stuff, like, yeah, look, we listen to you. We want Cody. Yeah, great. Roman's still main eventing the show, guys.
This is still all Romans. We know what you guys saw at WrestleMania, but this is still Romans.
Yes. And I can't even say that is wrong. It's just that,
I mean, you should still use him as, a main event guy.
it's just funny that they do this all the time of like, we're giving you what you want. What's the problem? We're giving you what you want, but we're still going to do what we want to do.
Yes. They have a lot of disguises. This is what you wanted, actually, guys. And you're like, well, this is not totally what we wanted, but this is kind of what we wanted.
I mean, look at Kofi Mania. You guys wanted Kofi, right? Kofi got the title, not the main event. You are getting another Roman main event, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
again,
Roman did not main event. The women main event that year. Sorry. That was the year of the triple threat main event.
That was the one he didn't get. And they were like, actually, put Roman back in. What are we doing?
Yeah. Take the tape out. Put the tape in.
Oh, they're done. All right. Send out Roman. Okay, cool.
Take the cartridge out. What is that cartridge? You got Lion King in there? Take that out. Put Sonic in there.
Well, y'all playing? Okay, let the adults play now.
Yeah. Bro, I hated that as a kid when you like you were on the sticks and playing, and then adults came in and they started playing. You're like trying to look over people's shoulders and see what they're doing. And it's like, damn, I can't play. Like shit. Like,
yeah, I was having a good time before y'all got here.
Yeah, it's like that at the arcades when like the big kids came in too, and you're like playing and like in your vibe, and then they came in and took over. It's like, damn, man, like
shove you out.
Let me play.
These two giant shoulders, 13-year-old shoulders. What a different time, man.
Yeah. We've got more super chats. I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of chats about this main event situation. Okay, we got a few from Tenruza.
Tenruza says need Riho Shida and Red Velvet on screen Wednesday and Saturdays.
Yeah, we definitely need to see more of Shida and Red Velvet.
Yeah, those are they AEW has this thing where they still have women that could really go and really have this moment and people love them, but they keep them off. Like Shida and Riho play that position. Like anytime they come back, the fans are really into it, but like their runs are so spaced that you kind of tend to forget about them.
Yes.
Timbers also says Gail Kim coming into AEW and working with Mariah would be fire.
Yeah. Gail coming over there and working with Deanna because Deanna worked so well in Impact is the move I want to see.
You know what I thought was the most interesting thing earlier when we were talking about AEW and Mariah and Tony and women representation, like we all know like who helped them with a lot of their stuff coming up. A lot of coming up with the Mariah and Tony stuff was a man, like RJ City, I guess, had a lot to do with it. And like that's interesting in itself because it's like he did a great job, but like it would have been like even kind of cooler in a greater moment if like a woman helped him do all that. Like no shade to him, like I think he did amazing. I'm happy that he played a role, but like it would be great if they had like a woman that's in a high position that they could bounce these ideas off and establish that, you know?
Yeah. Got one from Deontay as well.
Deontay says, as a man who loves Mina a lot and loves some Tam Tam a lot, that match was an amazing birthday present, but I wanted the best of 5. Mina finna take over.
Yeah, I agree. The match itself was really good. I enjoyed it a lot, but I did think they did Mina a little dirty.
I think they were just mad that she went and got American success, maybe, because sometimes that's a thing when you work in different places. They could be upset.
I don't know what it is, but it's so interesting with Bushiroad having both Stardom and New Japan under their belt, and you could see more and more New Japan is trying to expand into the U.S. and they're trying to broaden their audience. And in some ways, Stardom is too, but they're not going at the lengths that New Japan is. And I don't know what is the difference and why that is.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tim Roots also says Delirious going to bring 2018-19 ROH vibes to TNA. See, I didn't want to say it, but Phil kind of said it. He put it in a nice little package where he was like, it's not really going forward. It's not really like changing the game. It's kind of like not going back, but it's like we've already know what they bring to the table. We already know what they're established. They've already been doing this thing. It doesn't feel like a refresh.
Yeah. I would love to be wrong.
I'm just like, I was around for those Delirious ROH times and people hated Delirious and his stuff. So I'm like, huh? You know?
Delirious. Yeah, Black Magic.
Hope I'm wrong. Hope I'm different. Hope things change. That's it. Tim Russo also said WWE stripped the soul of TNA. They fed clowns now. Yeah, TNA, I think the writing's on the wall for him. Now. They're tired of spending so much money on this company, and they're like, somebody buy this. WWE.
Yeah.
Tim Russo also says, want AEW to do an all-women's Collision or Dynamite.
Yeah, agreed. I think that they've got enough women now that they could do that. At very least, we should see like a Collision or something.
Right. I think one Saturday where it's just an all-women show would be great. I think we've seen a lot of, when I was covering Ring of Honor extensively, there'd be some episodes where like there's 5 or 6 women's matches. Like they definitely have the opportunity and the women to do it, so they should.
Man, just change Battle of the Belts to all elite women and give them like a regular showcase of women's wrestling like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yep.
That's what I would do because nobody cares about Battle of the Belts anyway. Just make it an all women's hour or so every time they do it.
Yep. And with the Max thing, dude, you guys have the opportunity to use a different space. You could broadcast it on there. There's some things that you could do to make this happen.
Yeah.
Hey, what's over there says WWE got to have the Men in Black neuralizer.
Yeah. Big Flash just popped up when Punk walked in that door.
But I think it doesn't matter. Like they remember. I don't need to forget the stuff. I remember what I did. I remember what happened. It's kind of like with the fans too. Like they remember, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. They got rid of Battle of the Belts. I'm seeing in the chat, but
did they? Good. That was a kind of a dumbass concept, anyways.
Yeah, it didn't work. Yeah, but it's so funny because people will be like, I hate this guy, and then they'll come back and their fans get neutralized too because they be looking around like, I love this guy. I love the leader.
That's a fact. WWE fans used to talk crazy about CM Punk when he would get his little jabs off on AEW.
Bro, they hated him, and like seeing him come out there now and getting the big cheers, like even when he was talking to Roman and he did the point at the sign and the big CM Punk chant started, I was like, things have changed, man. Things have definitely changed, and that was what was funny watching some of the Swerve stuff after the Vlad interview. I'm like, bro, that guy went back over there. They would love that guy again. I ain't trying.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
There are definitely people over there that would love that guy to go back.
Because it's all about a lot of the fans, just their frustrations and things that's just because they're not in WWE. So they hate on AEW because it's not WWE. So if you come back to WWE and you're on our team again, we're lit.
Boy, it's nails on a chalkboard. I see it every time. Anytime someone black leaves there and they air their grievances and people start saying ungrateful, we talking about how I don't like seeing aggressive. Ooh, I hate it. I hate when people start, oh, they're so ungrateful. Why didn't he got an opportunity? Why is he complaining? Like the story he told about that Gulag match, I remember that match because I covered that match for Daily DDT, and I remember how well that match went over for him. And for him to tell that story about how people loved that match even backstage, and then they're like, hey, come over here and learn some arm drags. Like, what?
Get into the basics class. And he's like, dog, I don't need the basics class. And I think that's more of him. He wasn't even talking like, I'm a big star, I'm this, I shouldn't do this. It's just like, that's how, because I've heard that about the system too. If they have like some of the best wrestlers in the world, they go to the PC and they're like, actually get in there and roll and do drills. And it's like, dog, I'm so past doing fucking drills. I'm ready to be on the main roster.
Yeah, I hate it. Every time somebody's like, well, this is what I think my value is, and this is what they were using me as. And so I want somewhere else to improve my value. And then you get all these other people like, you're so ungrateful. No, that's not what it is. I think that I'm this, and I'm going to go somewhere and prove you wrong. And I have. Don't then come back and tell me, oh, you should have just stayed over there and kept doing what they wanted you to do. No.
No, my blood boils when I see ungrateful. When they call Mercedes ungrateful, I want to break my
hate it, man. They were, J. Roy, they were doing it with Samantha too, and I didn't like it either. Like,
same thing.
All that be grateful you had a spot on this show. Like it's okay to be grateful for opportunities, but also feel like I want to do more and I can do more, and I'm gonna go somewhere else and show you that I can.
And that's the story every one of them are saying. They aren't even like, I made these crazy demands. I told them they have to pay me $1 gazillion. They're like, no, I just wanted to tell them my ideas and execute them.
I just wanted to do something, even if it's not that I wanted to do something, do more. I just wanted to do something else.
Something, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to just be like, I didn't like what they were giving me to do. I want to do something else. Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Now, people take it as a personal attack. Like, oh, that means you hate WWE. And that nobody even saying that.
Yeah, the undertone to that ungrateful shit, I don't like it at all. Because when you really think about what's being said there, I don't like it.
What's being said, yeah.
I don't like it.
That's why it makes my blood boil. Because I'm like, I don't like how that feels. I don't like how that makes me feel.
Yeah, I mean, like, the story of Roman for his career, imagine if people were like, oh, just be grateful that they pushed you heavy. Like, bro, if he didn't get this heel turn and he didn't completely turn his career around, like, he started doing some of the best work of his career, bro. Imagine being like, hey, well, just be grateful. Like, bro, no. I want to do something that I enjoy doing and something that actually transforms my career.
No, be grateful we dumped dog food on you. You know what I mean?
What are we doing, bro? Which speaking of, I didn't watch all the Helwani interview, but Corbin had got some shots off. You see that?
He was letting them loose. But you know what, Phil? I feel a way about wrestlers that are mad at celebrities. Be mad at the people in charge. Like when they're like, oh, Logan Paul does all this. Yes, he should, because they fucking tell him to. He makes a lot of money. He comes with an entourage. They're not stopping him. Triple H isn't like, hey, you shouldn't do any of that. He's encouraging it. So be mad at him. Don't be mad at Logan Paul. It's probably a really bad example, but don't be mad at likes. Because when they're mad at people that come in, don't be mad at the wrestler. Be mad at the motherfucker that are putting them on.
That's what it seems like Corbin was saying. It seemed like from what I saw, I haven't watched the entire interview, so I don't know the entire context. But it seemed like he was saying he gets a lot of opportunities that other people back there deserve and they've earned at this point. Definitely. And I don't think it's a matter of he doesn't like Logan Paul or that he doesn't think that he's good. But if you can just come in as a celebrity and I'm going to be on a pay-per-view no matter what because I have name recognition, yeah, I bet you a lot of people back there feel away.
That's what I'm saying. They should need to be mad at the fucking leaders and organizers. Like Lawrence Taylor main event at WrestleMania 11. That shouldn't fucking happen ever. Like there should never be. They had all these opportunities or celebrities just came in, but that's kind of what WWE does. So be mad at WWE, not at the celebrities, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like there's some of that. I mean, that's kind of in what Graves was saying and how he was annoyed. I don't know how much of that was a work or not, but you getting taken off of commentary because somebody else is a bigger name. Like, I think people back there are feeling that. Like, definitely. And you see like more and more.
Probably people like that about Roman, like you're talking about earlier. Like we're working hard every day. He comes in and gets the main event spot. Like I earned that main event. Like if you talk to Drew McIntyre for real, I'm sure he's like, "Hey, what the fuck?" You know what I mean?
Bro, him and Sheamus was getting some sound bites off at one point. I was like, "How much of this is real? What this sound? It got some tone to it."
Some of them Sheamus ones, I was like, "Hey, wait, is Sheamus? What's Sheamus doing?"
It's got some tone to it, my guy. Like, what's going on?
But like that, I couldn't even be mad. Like somebody that's been there for so long, like somebody that actually does earn their positions and not in the best positions, I'd be frustrated too.
Yeah, I totally get it. But also, not the biggest fan of Logan Paul. So
Also, like I was saying, it's kind of crazy that I was doing that, but I'm just saying on the general scale.
yeah, I could see people feeling away for sure. That was
Because
the
I'm
same.
with them when they were saying that Logan Paul's the greatest of all time. I'm like, let's fucking relax. The greatest rookie. Let's relax on all that stuff. You know?
People were getting kind of crazy with that. Like he's picked this up faster than anybody else. I'm like, hold on,
relax.
hold on.
He's greater than Kurt Angle's rookie year. I'm like, wait you guys, let's fucking relax, please.
Yeah. So yeah, I get it. I gotta actually watch that Helwani interview, but I could see why people would feel away. Just like, man, I see why Mandy feel away. I think people that are like trying
People
to
are
not
talking
see her
crazy
point.
about Mandy this week, man.
I see why she might feel away. People are like, well, you didn't have a double championship. You unified it. I think her point is, regardless of her unifying it, I was like the face of that brand at one point. I had multiple segments on the show. You were building the show around me. I was in all the commercials. I was a big champion, unified that belt and everything. And I'm not talked about at all anymore over there. They've just tried to completely erase what I did. And so I feel her. I think that she is like, nah, this sucks at every turn. They keep trying to, whitewash over what I did over there.
Yeah, that's why I like what she was like. It's semantics, you guys, with the championship thing, because it's more than me saying I was a double champion. They're trying to erase everything that I fucking did. They're acting like I didn't help them and have a moment in my time. And that's more of what she was saying. People are just like, you're actually not the double champion. Look at the community notes. I'm like, it's not about the fucking community notes.
Yeah, I think people are definitely playing a semantics game with her. Yeah, I get
community
it.
noted. All right, guy, you got it. Have fun.
Yeah, no, I get why she's upset, man. I get why she feels away.
Because they do that. That's what they do. They're like, okay, we need new accolades. We need to not erase this person, but we need them to think about somebody else. Then they start putting accolades on them.
Yeah, and especially when you think about what Mandy was doing before that and how people talked about Mandy before she went back to NXT. Like, for her, that was her most successful run with the company. And for y'all to just basically gloss over it like it didn't happen, like, yeah, I get it.
And she kind of made it hot for the NXT women's division when it wasn't that hot.
She did.
One of their most down periods, because they've always been pretty consistent with their women's division in NXT, and they weren't at that time, and she was fucking leading it.
Yeah.
She helped bring them back. People were talking about her often, dog. Like, yeah, they do got her fucked up. I hear.
Yeah. Let's see, get into some more of these super chats.
Ryan Sassini says, no issue with the triple threat kickstarting Punk's Roman. Hopefully Rollins Roman, but it shouldn't main event.
Yeah. I hope that you're right, and I hope that this triple threat ends up kicking off feuds with both of those guys separately.
Yeah, I mean, it should. I think we'd probably get to non-Roman stuff because I don't think he's going to be as present, but I think that this is a good Kickstarter because there's so much more we need to get into, and we're not going to get into it in 3 weeks.
No. They don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some stuff that, I'm sure they don't want to talk about on their show.
That's a fact. Some of the stuff they got to keep. Tim Rizzo says, I'm lazy and changing my 2012 pick. Still hollow, though.
Bro, see, man, why you got the same profile picture for over 30 years?
He done a whole bunch of stuff since then. He been AEW. He been back.
We got one from Busby. I'm just laughing at his name.
When did he get a new name? When did he get a new little alias? Busby, the respected man, says. Friendly reminder, it's the 10-year anniversary of the heist of the century. What better way for Punk to get one over on Seth than to sneak his way into the night's main event?
Yeah, I like that aspect of it. The tantrum Rollins threw after he said it was the main event was very funny because this is what Rollins has been wanting for years was to main event WrestleMania. He got his main event last year. He's going to get a chance to main event again, and he's not even thinking about that this is a great moment for me. I'm main eventing again because he cannot get past. I hate this guy. And he should not get a chance to main event. This is my home. It's not his home.
It's a pretty good story. And he's going to end up being like, waking up and be like, oh, damn, I main evented 2 years in a row. That is actually some great accomplishments.
Yeah.
Thanks, Busby, the respected man. Wild.
I can't. I was about to say it out loud, and I was like, "No, nope.
Nope, keep it. Tinriza says not going to care about Rumble for a bit. Saudi Royal Rumble.
Oh, I forgot it's Royal Rumble in Saudi next year. Oh no!
Like the official one, not the greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that was announced. Royal Rumble will be in Saudi Arabia next year.
Gulp.
Yeah, we getting pantsuit Women's Rumble.
Horrible. 30 pantsuits? Damn, dog. Ooh, that's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, there won't be the big I got my Royal Rumble press pass this year, huh?
Like some people flying overseas.
You sure? You sure about that? Tinruz also says, I hate 2-day shows. Mania should be 4 or 5 hours one day. As somebody that's been to a long ass WrestleMania, I understand why they have 2-day shows.
And they like money.
They love money.
Love it.
People, like I said, they've sold for 45,000+ seats for both nights. They're not going back to one night. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Have you seen that they made the NXT show even earlier, WrestleMania week, and that show starts at 9:30 a.m. bell time.
It's on Friday or Saturday?
It's on Saturday, the same day as the first night of WrestleMania.
So you want people to get up at 9:30 in the morning, go to NXT, and then go to WrestleMania that night?
They won't. Hold on, you forget a part. Go to NXT, sweat in Vegas, and then go to WrestleMania.
9:30 in the morning is.
And Phil, WrestleMania after party too.
After the show is the after party, and after the party is the hotel lobby, and after the belly, then it's probably Chris.
Nobody that's doing this is going to be doing that, but yeah.
Yeah.
But like they want you to start at 9 a.m. and end at 4 a.m.
Fiesta, remix for the homies from the Midwest.
Let Hope get his shit off.
Fiesta.
Homies from the Midwest side. I love Hope, man. Wild remix though. You still listen to that?
No. Nope. I sure don't.
My.
Bro, that summer that shit was everywhere though.
Dog. Every time you turn on a fucking radio, Fiesta was going on.
Fiesta.
Listen, no, stop. Listen, get us out of here. Get me out of here.
Nah. Every now and then I think of Thoya, and I'm like, bro, why was this as hot as it was, bro?
Toya.
Like, yo, why was that as hot as it was, man?
I don't know, man. There's been some times where music just took an interesting turn and we were all along for the ride. We're all just like, all right, yeah, okay, I'll try it. Hip hop's so accepting, that's why. They act like we're not accepting.
We're
very accepting.
Bro got into his little growly voice at one point on the song. We in the club, so it ain't no rules. We butt naked, but socks and hot shoes. Get the fuck out of here, R. Kelly.
The growl bag.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm butt naked, sweat socks and house shoes. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here, bro.
And then you think about it, like, damn, he was really doing that shit.
Yeah. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's relax.
He really like he was rap. not capping in them raps. These are true
Yo.
stories.
Oh my God, bro! Like
Oh man.
throwing that line in there. I'm butt naked, sweat socks and house shoes is crazy, bro.
Like, I think he really was.
Yo.
The more stories we hear, I'm like, I think that's been described before.
Yeah, super chat.
Oh, shit.
Oh
My stomach. Oh man.
God. Here, Grapple Geekery.
Grapple Geekery says, second Saturday working in a row, and I'm listening on catch up. I was loving the bomb drops for Chicago win. Phil, got one more bomb in the bay for me.
Yeah, I might. I just we gotta be careful, man. We got a little close to the sun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, drop the bombs right here. They might misinterpret them.
Yeah, we got close to the sun, man. I don't know.
Listen, you know what you come for. You know what you're gonna get. Appreciate you, Grapple Geekery. Sucks working on Saturdays. Someone who works every Saturday morning talking to you guys. Appreciate it. Leonard Aarons III says, turning Cena heel just to headline night one is wild.
It might be night 2 main event. It's the world title. I could be wrong, but my gut feeling tells me it's probably gonna be Roman. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's pretty 50-50 with how they put Cody on every show. Like I think they could do it but I don't know if they would. I still am like, they're gonna put Roman in that main event. I know they are. The night 2 main event. Just to screw Punk one more, or just to really go along with the Punk story, I think. And they're trying to hammer home like they're like, no semantics. He really was in the main event. It was the last match. We're not bullshitting you, you know?
Nah, man. It kind of feels like it's happening, bro. It kind of feels like Roman about to hit that joint on him.
Definitely.
He about to be in Vegas. We in a club now.
I just think my hand wasn't raised at the end of the fucking show last year, so I'm getting my hand raised at the end of the show this year. You're gonna see my pyro. Fuck y'all.
Did they announce that which one's gonna be night 1 and night 2 yet, or no?
I don't think so.
Well, yeah, we could be doing all of this joking, and they might have announced it already.
Mm-hmm.
It might all be invalid.
They should have Cody in the main event, though. He earned another one.
Yeah, for sure. I do think he's about to catch this L, though. I think he's about to lose.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I'm like, the match results, I think, are going to play who ends up there. Because do you want to end the whole thing with Cena and the belt? Maybe, you know?
Yeah, WrestleMania ending, his last WrestleMania ever. I forgot that part.
Yeah, ending with Cena is probably the way to go.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Cody Cena. Because I forgot that it's his last WrestleMania. That kind of changes it.
Yep.
Yeah,
that
probably is.
The whole thing. It's last WrestleMania. He's going to probably win the belt, ending the show with whatever response that gets.
Yeah, I saw Ric Flair quote this week. I was like, yeah. Cena, go ahead and break that record, dog.
Hurry up, dog. What are you doing?
Enough of this guy, bro.
Every time he talks, I'm not surprised. Was it the one where he said Charlotte's the best wrestler in America right now or something? I was like, all right, Nate.
Yeah.
You should. That's your daughter. Like, you should. But let's relax, please.
Yeah. Kind of speaking of, did you see that Brooke Hogan put that stuff on Instagram? I was like, ooh. Hopefully she's doing well. That did not sound good. And stuff with your family, because you can't choose your family, man. And so sometimes unfortunately your family is not good people, and so hopefully she's doing well.
I've seen I've been involved with women who have tumultuous relationships with their mother, and I've seen relationships where like the mother's essentially, it seems like Linda's been jealous of Brooke Hogan her whole life. So like she's taking that out on her. And like that, the vibe that Brooke was giving up was like, this lady has always been at my neck. And that's what it kind of feels like. Some people just don't get along with their family no matter what.
Yeah.
And the thing to do is to get the fuck away from them like she did.
Absolutely. Sorry, Rapid Dave. For context, Brooke Hogan put some stuff on IG following that clip of Linda talking about how Hogan broke up their family, and she said how people are sending it to her, and she said she's going to just say publicly she's dealt with a lot of verbal and emotional and mental abuse from her parents. And I of course I'm not doing it justice. She
said a lot of the times it would turn physical too. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's a few pages that she put on IG. I'm not doing any justice. I would read it for yourself, but again, hopefully she's doing well.
And she didn't say he did it or she did it. She didn't say if Linda or Hogan did or Terry did it. So you should just probably read it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully she's okay though. Sounds like some crazy trauma. Sounds like some crazy thing. I hope she's in a space to push that shit away.
Yeah. At one point, she alluded that she had to go out there and defend some stuff she didn't believe in, and people had jumped on her for a long time for defending Hulk during the sex tape thing, and yeah, I could see how that then had an effect on her career and like effect on her perception. So, yeah, that sucks to hear. She does have, I believe, 2 kids now, and she's married. So, hopefully everything else in her life is going well.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Yeah.
Alexander Fitzgerald says, "His main event Jey Uso is the main event in WrestleMania. Does this mean his new name is Curtain Jerker Jey Uso?"
Yo.
No, Alexander, because WWE is just going to do that thing where they're like, we have 25 main events, actually. This is the main event, too.
Curtain Jerker Jay is crazy, bro.
Curtain Jerker Jay. He's going to hate that one. No, he's not. He's going to love it. He's been embracing it. Do you see that interview where Jey Uso was like, I know you guys all think I'm a bad wrestler, but who cares?
I did not see that. He said that?
I don't know who he was interviewing with, but he was like, I know there's a lot of talk to this, but I earned this position and it doesn't matter what the fuck you guys are saying. And I was like, okay, respect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when people do the whole, is there anything you want to say to your haters thing? It's like, just
fuck the haters. Fuck them. I'm not saying shit to them.
Just ask another question. It's cool.
And Jey Uso is not a bad wrestler. Stop that. He's
No.
just it's a bad position. That things are just weird.
No, he's not a bad wrestler, man. I just think that, there's a chain of events that people are not happy with, and I understand why they're not happy with it, but he's not a bad wrestler.
No. Much better tag team wrestler. That's probably what it really is.
Well, listen, when they were together in that ring and when they were on the stairs together and they were doing this entrance, I'm like, we can just get back to the Usos. It's cool.
It's right there. We see it. We like it.
This is fun. Big Jim was out there getting his shit off. Like, I was like, listen, man, we could just get back to this, man. This is fun.
Big Jim can't wait to bust out his little Omarion pop locking bit, huh? He loves that shit. Anytime some motion happens, he's like, all right, let me get my shit off. Back up.
Bro, he got into his Leonardo DiCaprio pop locking from the Wolf of Wall Street. I was like, yo, let's go.
I'm gonna fucking bring it up. Shit.
I was like, yo, he hitting that shit, though, for real. Hold on.
So funny, dude. But yeah, just like get them back together. That shit like looks great. It works. It's good. Yeah. We like this.
I believe this is our last super chat.
Mm-hmm. Will Chisholm says that Naomi promo was great because if people knew her history, everything she said was too true.
Yes, that's why I was sitting there like, nah. I don't know, man. I might be rooting for Naomi over here, man.
Yeah, straight up. Her promo things, I was like, okay, now I see what everybody was talking about in the bloodline. Because Naomi might have been pretty hard standing next to those guys.
Yeah, I've been loving this heel turn so far. Mm-hmm. I'm standing on. I think she should win Money in the Bank.
Yes, she needs that.
Some of these edits, Pedro, of Big Jim doing his dance with like them putting the music over it. Hilarious.
My favorite one was somebody put the caption was my uncle after one beer. It's the Big Jim clip. I thought that shit was hella funny.
Fucking hilarious, man. See, let's get into our Humper chats and we're gonna get up out of here. Mm-hmm. Probably got some more super chats, but last call for super chats, last call for Humper chats.
Yeah.
Before we skate on up out of here. from Coffee Black. He said, "Did y'all see the Tom McDonald nonsense? Enzo being in the forefront ring for that video is nasty." I did not see the video. I did see the screenshots of the wrestlers in it, and I did notice that Coffee Black of the fourth rope logo behind him.
That's the first thing I noticed.
And I was like, oh no,
God,
no,
no! Why'd you do this? Who you didn't tell anybody, did you?
Yeah, oof.
Like I didn't care about anything. I was like, okay, this doesn't matter. Then I saw that and I was like, wait a second.
That was
why is he in that ring?
That was nasty. Oof.
But yeah, that guy's awful. That music sucks. People are like, Scotty Too Hottie. I'm like, why are you surprised Scotty Too Hottie was in there?
Why? Because he had a hip hop gimmick and he was dancing. I might have to break some of y'all on that one. I don't know. Hey, you know who else has had a hip hop gimmick and also was a big trumper at one point? Oh, you didn't know? Listen, I
had the braids and everything. What is it? The braids? Like, oh.
Listen, man. Just because you're draping themselves in our culture, don't mean they care about us. Sorry to break that to y'all, but that ain't.
I'm like, besides being in Too Cool, what about Scotty Too Hottie was throwing you off of this? That's what I'm saying to these people. I'm like, why are you guys so surprised?
I'm personally not surprised when a lot of wrestlers are voting that way, because I already assume that most wrestlers are Trumpers.
And I think like one thing I don't factor in is a lot of these people live in Florida. One time I was in Nevada at my cousin's house and I was watching TV and like the political ads came on and I was like, I see why people be moving like this. If you live in Florida, how the political ads come up, how the people be moving, like who's surprised about this shit?
Yeah. A lot of nasty stuff like that with politics this week that we did not get into the Gulf of America stuff, and I don't want to get into it to death. I just think that it was incredibly distasteful. And if anybody's upset that I said that, hey, guess what? Suck my dick. Sorry.
Yeah. There's a bunch of sides to land on this. I think this fucking sucked as the first side that I land on. But the people that were like, it didn't offend me, it didn't blah, 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 like, that's fine. You can stand on that side, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I didn't.
It did, as a blank, insert your whatever you are, I wasn't this is the worst sentence ever, and it's not a good case for you. You don't win things. You're not a better black or Latino or Asian or blah, blah. You're not, that doesn't make you superior. It's a stupid fucking sentence, and it takes away from people's real struggles and real things for you trying to be in on the joke. Oh, as a black person, I wasn't mad when they did watermelon and chicken. Well, a bunch of people are fucked because you weren't mad. So when they come to you and they're like, well, look, there's a whole section of people that weren't mad about our stupid fucking joke, then they're going to keep doing the stupid fucking jokes. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think it's important because while I was very dismissive a few seconds ago, I do host a podcast, and unfortunately, sometimes there are things I don't want to talk about, but I can't just be dismissive. So I should say, I don't like that people turn these things into, okay, I think this is distasteful. Well, why are you offended by everything? I didn't say I was offended.
Mm-hmm.
I said it was distasteful.
Yes.
And oh, well, why do you think everything's racist? I didn't say it was racist. I said it's distasteful. Yep. These are two conversations that are you guys are missing this. And this is the problem with where we are in the world with politics and a bunch of things where people don't listen to each other. There is a real lack of empathy in the world because people are not willing to listen to each other and actually understand what they're saying before they then tell you, oh, I don't want to hear anything else you have to say. And yeah, I get the irony of what I just said a few seconds ago. That's why I said I thought better of what I said in the moment.
Look at good at you. That's
gross. And let me stop and in the moment say that it's not me thinking that this is racist. It's not me personally be offended by it. I think it's distasteful to take something that's a real issue in the world where the president of this country is attempting to unilaterally change the name of the Gulf of Mexico, and you're now trying to make light of that outside of this country where that is not recognized on any map. I don't think that's a good idea. Mm-mm. That's all. And hey, if you don't agree with me, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but choosing to do this like overseas where they don't even, it's like, what are you like? Why would you do this? Like, it just wasn't right. And then we get news stories that a lot of people were not happy about this because it's fucking terrible. There's real people dealing with real issues for like these little jokes. Like, all right.
Yeah. And look, man, I get people who just be like, it's just jokes. I've been here just jokes for over 10 years. How long y'all gonna keep saying it's just jokes when it comes to this guy? It ain't funny. Stop, man. Like, cut it out. Like, it's not funny. And hey, if you think it's funny and you think that this is nothing and the context doesn't matter, that there are people in this company that are linked to that guy, you think that's just a coincidence? Hey, have at it. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. But I didn't like nothing about it. Sorry.
Sucked. Hated it. I don't think they need that.
No, you didn't. Especially with Chad Gable, who is a great wrestler and he does comedy well. He doesn't need to be saddled with this.
Right.
I just didn't like it. And people are welcome to feel how they want. People are welcome to say that I'm just being mad. No, I'm not mad at all. I am not surprised by any of this. I just don't think that they should have done that. I don't think it was a good idea. That's all. That's all.
This tasteful. That's the best way to describe it, honestly.
Yeah. I gave an explanation on it on something, and somebody was just like, "Well, you don't even know what that word means," and I was like, "Oh, you're right." That way to show me that you're not racist by insinuating that this black man is not intelligent enough to use the words that he's using.
Too big of a word for you. What do you know about this tasteful?
Yeah.
You guys can't even read.
From Rabio Garcia, so many great crowds this week, but none will compare to the crowd of one Phil Lindsey after Giddy hit that game winner. I know what you want to do, but Anthony Rafiq Khan, do the right thing. Congrats to Punk for main eventing night one of the BOGO main event. LOL.
Gonna get him every time. It's gonna keep biting you in the butt. Chicago Phil CM Punk.
Yeah, no, he's gonna. Those sound bites are gonna keep coming back. Unfortunately. From Wonga, he says, "How's it going, Grapsody fellas? Speaking about teams sweeping matchups, Heat going 2-0 versus the Warriors this year was pretty good as well. Wiggins seems like he wanted that win. Also, Phil, check out the NBA Paint post about Giddy shot.
NBA Paint was that they like make photos or paint a thing of the shot?
He's talking about like there's an account that does stuff with Microsoft Paint, and they'll do like little animations with it.
Oh shit, that sounds good.
I think that's what he's talking about.
I have to check that out.
Yeah. From Tony P says Rossi and Bushiroad clashing leads to some weird booking that year when Julia lost and Tam getting double belted. I can say a new positive with Stardom is they are allowed to mingle with other promotions, repairing relationships Rossi had heat with people.
Is it? I'm like, I don't know if I've seen it yet.
What?
Them working with more people.
They're working with AEW more.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Appreciate you guys for your humper chat. I feel like I've been like kind of spicy this episode. I'm trying to woosah a little.
Yeah, you let them
a little bit. Just a little bit.
Pow, 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 pow. Phil.
I saw somebody else say, "Man, I could say more. I could say more, but I won't. That's fine."
Facts.
It's not a shot at nobody, guys. I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking. I hope people don't think that that's a shot.
He got something.
You gotta be careful now, man.
You do.
You gotta be very careful.
Jokes and bits. People are very serious these days.
People take jokes very seriously, man. I'm sure somebody's like, "But you took that Go for America joke seriously."
Those Grapsody guys, there they are.
That was so hilarious in the midst of some of this, of people going, "But why you don't have a sense of humor? Why you can't take a joke?" I was like, "What? Me? Okay."
Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't want anybody to be offended for anybody. Like I hate, like you can't put anything up. Like if some people weren't offended and they're Latino or whatever, that's fine. That like you don't have to be like blah blah blah. But there's also a lot of them not doing that, and some people are like, "Why are you putting this on me?" And nobody's putting anything on them. So,
No.
yeah. Alexander Fitzgerald also says, have you guys seen RVD going off on fans about the mock spot? He tweeted out, I'd rather be associated with WWE instead of AEW. Yeah, we discussed it earlier.
I didn't know he said that part. He would rather be associated with WWE.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that. Like, it's fine what you said, but at the end being like, this is why, it's like, shut up, stupid.
You've been booked to wrestle on AEW, though. Yeah. Like I said, I don't agree with his take about the Spike thing, and look, he's welcome to his opinion. He's a worker, so he has every right to feel that way. I just don't agree with him. That's fine.
And there's two conflating issues. You could be a legend and be wrong too, and like, or you could be a legend and people think you're right, but like you're policing how people do their shit. I fucking hate that. I hate that across the board. I hate when anybody's like, why are they doing deathmatch wrestling? Because they fucking want to. Why are they doing this type of wrestling? Because they fucking want to. All these are people that want to do these things. It's rare where a fucking promoter will go to a wrestler and be like, hey, could you dive off this big ladder onto fire and there's thumbtacks and bricks and all this? No, these are the wrestlers coming up with these ideas. Most of them want to do. Anytime you see a dumbass idea, it's probably the wrestler. And why would you stop that? This is their bodies. This is their lives. They could do this. I hate people policing things. What's wrestling and what's not wrestling. Everything's fucking wrestling, even if you hate it. Like, it doesn't matter. I talk shit about WWE, but they're still wrestling there. Like, I can't be like, oh, because I don't like it. It isn't. No, it's all wrestling, good or bad. That's what this is. Take it or leave it. Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, legends have their opinions, and like fans and anybody else, they have their preference for what they want to see. And I don't think he's wrong if he's just like, that's just not what I personally would like to see from wrestling.
Yes, right.
But again, that's his opinion. And I think when people are just like, oh, well, how dare you say that? It's like, well, I mean, you got every right to feel how you want, man. You just don't agree with him.
He probably should get off the internet, though. I saw him arguing for like a day straight, like, and he was replying to every tweet, and it's like, Rob, you don't have to prove to these people that you're Rob Van Dam. We get it, we know.
It gets hard because as somebody that avoids Twitter as much as possible now, sometimes when you just get into a tweet or something blowing up, and then you've got like all of these notifications hitting you at the same time, and it's like all of these people yelling you suck and saying all these things to you that you feel are unwarranted. It's hard to just be like, I'm not going to respond to this and like mute all of this, bro, because it becomes a cycle. You start responding to one thing, and then more people respond, and it just keeps going, and it's just fucking endless.
The internet's a terrible place, you guys. Get off of it.
Bro, I've been telling y'all for how long about Twitter? Like, it sucks over there. Like, people just, it sucks. People are very.
Like, I was more mad that RVD's trying to defend who he is. Like, dog, you're RVD. You don't have to be at these proving to anybody anything. You know,
you don't owe us no explanation for your opinion, Rob. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel, man.
Yes. Go. You don't have to be like, and this is why. No, you said it, and you're good. You don't have to be like, here's all the counterpoints to what you guys are saying. You don't got to prove shit to anybody.
Yeah. Bro, it's Rob Van Dam. And I think one of the funniest things I've seen, before I move on to the last super chat, is I've seen people say, well, all right, well, you're ECW wrestler, so you're a hypocrite. That isn't how I took it. I took it as he's an ECW wrestler, and he's wrestled at WWE. You know, he's a worker, and he's earned the right to have an opinion on these things.
Exactly.
Whether you agree with him or not, he's been in a lot of these places on these stages, and he's earned the right to say what he feels about this. And
exactly,
that's just what it is. A lot of these older wrestlers that have podcasts, they're going to have opinion on things. That doesn't mean that you got to argue with them or continue to engage them. It just doesn't matter that much. You can just be like, hey, I don't like this opinion. I'm not going to listen to any more of this.
But I kind of look at it as like the drunk at the AA meeting. Like, do you want to listen to him because he used to be a drunk? But no, he knows, he's experienced all the things. Like, he knows the things. He was deep in those trenches. So like his word still holds weight. Is it the right or wrong thing? Who really knows? I made a wild fucking thing right there, but I don't know. I was just going for it. I thought we were just cooking, you know?
I feel like we've been in the weeds. This is what happens when you don't have big shows to talk about, and we're just
Yeah,
talking. Like,
before we came in, I was like, "There's not really like a show to go over. We're
Yeah.
just gonna be getting into random news bits."
yeah. See our last super chat is quite a whopper.
Of course, this is how we would end the show. Landon Aaron's the third. Appreciate your support always. Says MAGA Sports Entertainment. Gonna MAGA Sports Entertainment. Told you.
If Leonard is nothing else, he is consistent in his view of how they do things over there.
Facts. And he keeps getting justified.
Yeah.
Woo wee.
This has been quite an episode. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for your humper chats and super chats. If you want to support your boys and buy a hoodie, buy a cap, grapsody.bigcartel.com. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Please do that. We're trying to start going live on there, so we need more people and more supporters. So subscribe to the Grapsody YouTube channel. I'm trying to talk some shit on there.
Yeah, I believe we are up to 700 subscribers, which is crazy. Appreciate you guys for the support, man. Mm-hmm. But all love as always. Not none of that fake love that some people are giving. All love. Appreciate y'all. This has been Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. Righteous Reg. We're out of here.
Hoorah.